Oi, 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 again. You've got us three on screen, which means it's only one thing. It must be Monday. It must be about 9:30, or sorry, 9:45, everyone. Sorry, we was getting a little bit too Tottenham Leeds at the backstage. We was. Sadly, we will be without our absolute legend. That is the master of the Irish breakfast, Anguna. I won't tell you why, but he's got some bits to sort. And family will always supersede YouTube. But we have got a replacement hopefully coming up soon, and he goes by the name of Gianni. I'm sure you all know him. I'm sure you'll quite like what he says. Yeah, I certainly do. So it'll be here soon. But just quickly before we start on the old cardiac arrest football, you know what I mean? The old heart attacks, the NHS were getting spikes of 30, 40, 50-year-old men going in the hospital, weren't they, on Sunday evening, D? Aside from the football, because we'll get into that, how was your weekend, heart attack free, my friend?
Yeah, it was all good, Aaron. Got a few things done and chilled a bit, and it was nice. It was always nice. They go too quick though, the weekends, don't they? They go too quick the weekends. And then we got to the football, and it was all like this, wasn't it? So, but apart
we'll
from
get to that, D. We'll get to that.
Saturday was nice, and it was good. It was good.
Yeah. And
big up to everyone that's locked in as well.
Yeah, big up to Vigilante as well, who's been kind enough to put everyone's links together. They are now pinned, so please make sure you smash them links up. Give the guys a sub. Smash a like on the video. Come on. We all got to help each other out, didn't we? Normski.
Yeah.
Aside from
Can't you see me chest?
Bro?
Can't you see me chest? It's still going.
It's now like a cartoon, isn't it?
Oh, mate. Listen, mate, I'll tell you, that was crazy. Absolutely crazy, man. Don't ever put me through that ringer again. I don't want to go through that and experience that. But listen, other than that, the weekend's been good. And look, it's fallen our way. Sometimes it goes our way, sometimes it doesn't. But on this occasion, we got the rub of the green and a great goal by Trossard, and we moved. But yeah, big up to everybody on the panel. You know what I mean? DJ B, obviously, Shane's not here, but we're looking forward to joining.
The gap to your right.
And bring up to the world-class chat.
Yeah, man. Come on. And talking about the world-class chat, like I said, big up to Vigilante. And he's got a stream, he's got a channel store as well. So make sure you're going and subbing to Vigilante, man. And he's saying as well, make sure you smash that like and subscribe as we come in. Who else we got in the chat before we kick things off? We got Quadra in the building. Come on, bro. Big up, man. Gavin's always here. Big up to you, Gav, man. Who else we got? We got the Tapster. Big up to Tap, brother. Big up to Martin, man. Hope you're all good, my friend. And he's saying as well, big up to the rest of the chat, man. Hope you are all good this Monday evening. It's funny while I go through this. We said sort of last Sunday, Monday, didn't we? We was like, this could easily be you're out of two competitions and, you've just watched your Premier League title go away again. But it's not turned out to that sort of way, has it, DJB? Before we obviously get into the West Ham sort of game, we knew it was going to be a pivotal week for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal Football Club, of course. But certainly him as a manager's credentials. Now, I'm not going to say that he's passed with flying colours because all he's done is enhance a chance or qualify to a latter stage of something. Nothing's won yet, more importantly. But we can still dream of something special. I don't think we'll do both, but we can dream it. We're in a final, you never know. And we've got our grips on the Premier League title, you'd like to sort of think. How do you reckon last week, we was all saying, as I said, I'll repeat myself one more time, we said, it could be so different, couldn't it, my friend? But it's landed the way it is, a 1-0 Atletico win. And now 5 points ahead in the Premier League title race. What do you reckon on Mikel Arteta's wonderful week, DJB?
Well, it's 1-0 to the Arsenal, isn't it? 1-0 to the Arsenal. You know what I mean? £1 billion spent, and we're scraping along on 1-0s.
Yeah, here's a little side note for you, D. You'll like this one.
Go on, my friend.
This further enhances your point. There you go.
1-0 to the Arsenal. Brilliant. And
10 this season.
There you go. So that's £1 billion spent, 300 grand a week on Saka, 60 odd, I don't know, million on a Gorkarez. And there you have it. That just sums up what our season's been all about. And that game against West Ham summed it all up for me. It's been a hard watch. It hasn't been pretty. It hasn't been entertaining. The football's been dire. We've won the league on our defensive unit. Well, 4 players, if you like, because Timber's been injured. But that's how we're going to win the league if it happens. And it's our defensive unit that's won us the league. It is not, and I'll repeat, not our attacking prowess that's won us the league. We haven't blown any teams away. We've just been efficient. We've defended well. We've been hard to beat. And that is basically it, which is fine. I'm happy with that this season. I can take that. If it means us winning the league, and we get across the line in the Champions League, I'll take it all day long. However, it's not what I want going forward, Aaron. I'm sorry. I keep saying it and I'll keep saying it. It's not the sort of thing I want going forward. I want to see something different next season. If he gets over the line this season and he wins the league, I want to see something different. I want to see him I want to see him play more on the front foot. I want to see the attack back in Arsenal, and I want to see us looking like champions if we're going to be champions. You know, I don't want us to see us sort of, you know, just getting over the line and coming out the stadium and going, oh dear, what have I just seen? What have I just witnessed? This player's playing bad. This one's playing bad. It's not what I want. It's not what I want. But yesterday against West Ham, for me, again, I can't really comment on it because it wasn't that good for the first 20 minutes where he was in control. And then he goes and does a madness. Then he goes
we'll talk about that in a little bit.
I noticed in the title, so we'll leave it till later. And again, we've struggled across the line. A VAR decision has got us all 3 points. We'll talk about whether it was a foul or not. But listen, when you've spent £1 billion and you've got a manager that's been in situ for 7 years, I want to see a little bit more. And I know I'm being, you know, I don't know what you're moaning about, DJB. We're going to win a title and possibly the Champions League. I get all that. And that part's all fine. But the football and how we've been playing and how we've gone about it, it's not been good. It's not been good. And it needs to change because eventually the luck will run out. That's pure and simple.
Yeah.
Playing like this, eventually the luck will run out. We won't be able to get away with it all the time going forward. But
I actually think, we've been very fortuitous. We've played a
100%.
real dodgy, we've played a real risky, dodgy style of football, and to be implemented and the way we've come across with one, like in Everton, always comes to my head. Like, you know, having that bastard of a penalty that went for us. I mean, you know, getting them 1-0 wins. You know, we didn't really do great in Newcastle, but nicked it sort of at the end. I know the flip side of the script by Top Gooners will always be, oh yeah, that's a sign of champions. But it weren't for the last 6 years, was it? Do you know what I mean? So it probably will be this year. But, you know, when you say, oh, sign of champions do that, it's probably because they've been champions before and know how to do it. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's not sustainable. And I actually agree with you before we bring Normskin as well. I just say big up to Gianni, man. He's on the stream, man. Big up to you, my friend. Hope you're all good, man. We'll go Normsky, then we'll get Gianni in the question as well. But yeah, you know, it's one of them. Noms, what do you reckon? And obviously, Gianni, the sort of question is it could have been so different. I mentioned last week on my stream, bruv, that we could be sat here out of the Champions League. Manchester City could have, you know what I mean, could be ahead now in the Premier League, or at least have the option to go ahead with their game in hand, sort of win. But it's not really worked out that way, is it? Norms, you know?
Look, Arsenal don't do things simple. They just don't do things simple. And,
right.
You know, we got to go. We got to go back to probably February, March when we could have won this and have not to go through what we went through and experienced yesterday, and just putting us through the ring, our heartstrings going and everything. It's not good for our health. You know what I mean? And the game yesterday, look, you know, they come out, they set out to frustrate us. They played 5 at the back. And I thought, well, listen, if they get that first goal, which, listen, in that 75th minute or whatever, I'll tell you what, if that wasn't that save for Real, mate, it could have been a different story. And the fact is that they would have probably hung on to that because they are defensively good. They are danger from set pieces as well. The first 20 minutes of that game, you know what I mean, we controlled it. And that was a chance. That was a time that we really need to have put away our chances. And we didn't hit the post. Trossard hitting the post. A couple of big chances. And those are the times really when you really need to put your foot on their neck and just get it done. The game in itself, as I said, it did swing and switch when Ben White went off. And Arteta trying to be clever, Mikel Arteta. I don't know what this guy was thinking.
Plastic genius syndrome, mate. Honestly.
This is exactly. I saw Mascara Woolman. I thought, fair play, he's going to bring on Mascara. The next thing I know, I'm seeing what's the name coming on? Supermendy, as some people like to call him. And I'm thinking, what is this guy doing? Why is he trying to be clever? Yeah, when we have a title that we're going through, and you're trying to be clever by taking your best number 6 and playing at right back, Thomas Partey settings. Yeah? And this is what he's trying to be too clever. And he knows he made a mistake, yeah, because he had to change it at half time. Yeah? 67th minute, he had to take him off. Yeah, because he wasn't doing the business. I think that Supermendy just needs to go back to Spain because I don't think he's I look at his body language, I don't think he's really enjoying it here. I personally don't think he's really enjoying it. He can't press. And he doesn't like to be pressed. Do you know what I mean? And giving away fouls and just slow down the game. As soon as he come on, I think the commentator said, here we go, sideways, backwards. This is what we're going to get. You know what I mean? This is what we're going to get.
And do you know what as well, Norms?
Yeah, go on.
And do you know what as well, Norms, is that you get a lot of people that defend Zubimendi. They're sort of saying, no, he's tidy with the ball at the back. I've seen a lot of times this season, under no pressure, him give the ball away in basically our own defence. Exactly. And us be punished for it or nearly punished for it. Yeah, I mean, if the geezer who's supposed to be a line breaker can't even pass back with no pressure to a centre back or a goalkeeper, I mean, yeah, there's something wrong with him, and yeah, the legs are slightly sort of gone. You know, why did he get sucked on at Fulham 3-0 up? Why was Norgard not on the field? Exactly, that just says everything you need to know. Do you know what I mean? And you know, obviously with the subs, I'll get into it in a little bit sort of long. We don't have to go into too much depth, obviously.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, but in general, do you know what I mean? Look, we're going to talk about the goal that didn't happen. VAR came in and determined. Hold on a minute. Oh, sorry.
I've always liked that VAR. Do you know that? Always liked that.
He just hit the crossbar. Oh my God!
About, just before Gianni comes in, bless up Gianni, getting on about Norgard. I mean, I identified it after about 5 games, and everyone was waxing lyricals over him right up till Christmas.
That's right.
But after 5 games, I'm thinking this is a player that may not suit the Premier League. He may not suit the Premier League. You know, you get them players that come to the Premier League and they just struggle. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And Zubimendi's in that category for me. You know, that's all I'm saying. So, again, going forward, it's something we need to look at.
Yeah.
I mean, the performances and the management of him. So there's obviously there has to be 2 people to blame here. Zubimendi's also not been good enough. And Arteta has definitely not helped him be good enough by running him into the ground. Where scenarios, just in the post about a crossbar being hit, with scenarios where he could have rested him. I mean, like you said, we're still, like I just said a second ago, we're still in this stage of the season, the last stages, and he can't help himself but bring him on against Fulham while we're 3-0 up. We're like, what? Why'd you do that? And people wonder why we get on at him. You know, Mikel Arteta, of course, for these kind of subs. It's daft. It's really daft. But listen, Gianni, man. The week, like I said, could have been a lot worse, couldn't it, my friends? You know, we could have been sat here thinking, Jesus Christ, Mikel Arteta's going to sign a 3-year deal and he's out of all 4 cups. Could have been a very different week, but it's not the week we were all hoping for, i.e. absolutely taking the piss out of teams. But it was the week results-wise we were all kind of hoping for, wasn't it, really? You know, not really much more at this stage of the season, I guess, you can ask for as a Mikel Arteta side. What do you reckon, bud? And cheers for coming on, man.
No, appreciate you having me on, and big up to DJB, big up to Normski. Always appreciate talking ball with you guys. Listen, Aaron, you and me talked for a little bit after the game. I mean, anybody who's still believing in this overlap, nonsensical play from the fullbacks and believing this pure Arteta ball, that second half of West Ham said everything we needed to know about this. Me and DJB were messaging one another, and I said, there's a possibility that there should be a sackable offense to somebody, that we spent that much money on Zubamendi and we've been screaming for Lewis-Skelly to get minutes from the beginning of the season. It's almost like as if with what we're seeing from playing, that run of form where we let City back into this, the Liverpool, Nottingham Forest, Manchester United run and Wolves, had Skelly been playing in the midfield instead of Zubamendi, look how much better this offense could have looked, and potentially we would have been scoring goals to put this league away early. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but Lewis-Skelly being in the midfield, isn't it amazing? Now the fact that Trossard and our wingers are getting the ball further up the pitch because we actually have somebody that can carry the ball through the midfield to get them in better spots, they look like completely different players. Trossard looks as if he's getting back into form like he was at the beginning of the season, scoring goals and picking passes, because he's getting the ball in more advanced positions than having to come so far back to get the ball and actually try to carry the ball from the halfway point up to the box. He's not doing that anymore because we actually have somebody doing it with Skelly. And then magically, Calafiori gets hurt. We got to throw Skelly to left back. We bring Zubamendi in, and then we revert back to type and go right back to playing the same way. That's
been Ben White, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that Ben White and Calafiori, if you're looking at it, both situations. Both situations caused us to go right back into playing for type, and we go right back to playing the same brand of football that put us into this problem in the first place. You know, I mean, we've said it on countless streams, my stream, Normski streams, your streams, DJB streams. This league should have been over with already. The funny thing is, we should have been throwing the second team out there to lose to West Ham to try to make sure Spurs get relegated at this point.
Yeah. And we'd have had it. We'd have accepted that. I'll go and do some damage to these lot, innit? Send the women out there with the kids. Stop them.
But the problem is that, again, for anybody who still believes in the manager, his specific brand of football was back on display against West Ham, and a team that's been in relegation battles since the beginning almost came back to bite us. I mean, for me, after this game with West Ham, my personal opinion, if we were to hand somebody the MVP for the season for Arsenal, it's David Raya. David Raya, listen, he's come up with big save after big save this season. Yes, he does stupid mistakes. I personally think that's down to what the coach wants to do with him, with these crazy 30 seconds, 45 seconds of burning time on the ball because he doesn't know where to pass, or the other teams making him worry about where he should pass because of the press and all this. At the end of the day, we got the job done, but let's not see no more of this nonsense. Let's not see no more of this nonsensical play. Let's go ahead, keep Skelly in the midfield. Let's keep a little bit more of this fluid offense that we have going, and let's push forward and win the league. Because I'm sorry, if you throw Zubamendi in and you try this nonsense again, Burnley could be a banana skin it could be a banana peel at this stage of the season. And we should not be even worrying about this, that Burnley is a potential banana peel, and we shouldn't even be worrying about, Crystal Palace, are they going to put the first team out there, or are they focused on the European trophy and all that? It shouldn't matter. We should be pushing forward and just winning right now, and do not tinker with what's going on. And for me, talking point into the summer, like what DJB said, I'm not even willing to risk next season, because the last thing I want is if and when we get over the line for the league, which I still think now in this position we will get over. This does not mean the foot comes off the gas pedal. Now we can sit back, go back to just competing, and we don't know if we're going to go after trophies. No. This should be the start of multiple trophies for years to come. This should be the tipping point of where we go for winning more trophies and building up a little run here where we add plenty of trophies to the cabinet, right?
We should already be in that phase, shouldn't we? We should be making a collection now, shouldn't we, G?
We should have won. Aaron, you and me have talked about it. I've said it on Normski's show, and I've said it to DJB. This is the only team that spent $1 billion in the history of this sport and is still talking about what if, buts, and maybes. Even though we're so close of winning, this is the only team that's done it. Again, Inter, AC, multiple trophies before they even hit the $1 billion mark. What I don't want is us to take the foot off the gas and now all of a sudden, Zubamendi's back in the midfield. Zubamendi is not good enough for this team. I'm sorry. No. I don't care if he's been flogged with minutes because he has so many more minutes than what he played in La Liga. Skelly looks so much more as a better natural partner to Rice in the midfield than Zubamendi does.
And you notice that after a game and a half, 2 games. Do you know what I mean? It looked very fluid. It looked like it worked, didn't it?
Because you have somebody playing in their proper position. What do we say?
Yeah.
You know, shout out to Natster. He says this all the time. Rice should be that old school British number 4. Just win the ball in the midfield and give the ball back to your creative players to go forward and have a fluid attack. Look at how much better we look with Skelly and Eze in the middle together, going forward, creating chances and allowing our attackers to get in better positions to score or at least create than what it is for Zubamendi. Zubamendi, people say, oh, he looks decently going forward. The problem is that he goes forward at a certain point of the game, reverts back to type, and then he demands Rice to go forward, and our offense looks dysfunctional again. No, it looks better. It looks better with Skelly. I really don't want to see Zubamendi. I would not be opposed to him leaving at the end of this year. Our offense looks so much better with Skelly in the middle.
Yeah, mate. Do you know what as well, G?
Sorry, Aaron. Go on, mate.
No, so just quickly. Do you know what as well? It kind of frustrates you that it takes him so long to realise it, and he probably won't ever realise the actual long term Zubamendi is not or will not be as good for Arsenal as Miles Lewis-Skelly will. He's just put him in there because of probably he's like looking at Martin Zubamendi and going, wow, yeah, you do need a rest. And he must know that he needs a rest because he took him off again. And that's his little boy. That's one of his signings, Martin Zubamendi. For the fact that he allowed himself to be a little bit humiliated in them substitutions. And that's what I want to tie into now, of course, because we've all sort of nudged on him. You said a couple of things there, Gianni, as well, and I'll kick it off and then we'll go to D. For the first 20, 25 minutes, we'll call it quarters, yeah? Do you know what I mean? For the first quarter of the game, we were dominant. I'm not saying we were running West Ham ragged. I'm not saying we were creating chance after chance. We wasn't. But we did start off well. You know, we were clearly trying to play the ball a little bit quicker than we usually have done. Not the quickest, but definitely quicker than the tempo we've been absolutely tortured at watching all season. And you know, we're creating them nearly chances from set pieces, albeit, but you know, them near misses give you confidence. It gives the fan confidence. They're like, okay, right, well, you know, we're near it 5 minutes later, nearly again. Okay, we're going to get goals soon. You get that feeling, didn't you? We're going to score soon here. And then the pivotal moment, of course, then with Ben White going down injured. Now, I'm not claiming to be manager of the season. I'm not claiming to be coach of the gods. I'm really not. But just take mascara on for him. Just do that. That's all you had to do, mate. Because what you've then managed to do, and you failed to learn, something that I've told people many a time, he either takes too long to learn or he don't learn it at all. Now, we had this scenario with Thomas Partey, and he carried on playing there for 10 games. And I think we had a win percentage of like 20% with him there. But he still carried it on. He's still done the same thing with Havertz and continues to do so today, by the way. But I digress. It took him 3 substitutions and a hell of embarrassment to do what he should have done in the 22nd minute. And it's because he's got plastic god complex. He just has to try and look absolute smart. He has to try and look like he's the cleverest bloke that's ever walked on a touchline before. And it's frustrating because you sit there and you not only did we inadequately replace a footballer, which should have only took 1 substitution, it took 3 over numerous substitutions. How ridiculous is that? And in different halves, how ridiculous is that? Not only did it do that, it killed the whole impetus of the game. The whole impetus. And these are not because I've been watching football for years and I know my tactics very well. It's got absolutely nothing to do with that. I believe that my 5-year-old daughter could probably make a better substitution than that man did. I don't believe that she'd take 3 substitutions to do something she should have done in the first time. I'm convinced of that. Absolutely convinced to my core. And we're talking about a 5-year-old girl. Do you know what I mean? She's still learning how to colour in the lines. Do you know what I mean? Like, what are we absolutely doing here? It's so frustrating. And not only does that, it destables everywhere. We've said this countless amounts of times with Thomas Partey. Okay, cool. So, you know, we were dominating in the midfield. I know what we'll do. We'll put our midfielder, Declan Rice, the best midfielder that we've got by a country mile. We'll put him at right back where we know he's completely and utterly ineffective. Oh yeah, where they haven't even attacked once. Not even once went down that fucking channel. Not even once with any threat. Not even once with any oomph did they go really and challenge Ben White while he's down there. But what we'll do is, whilst we're winning the midfield battle, we'll put our fucking best midfielder there. Well, that's what we'll do. And I will also as well, Skelly. Skelly, you can go here. All right. So we fucked the midfield up. Great, excellent, fantastic. Only one player injured, and he was a right back. Fuck the midfield up and fuck 50% of the defence up. If that ain't self-destruction of the highest nature, I don't know what is. I genuinely don't know what is. And we've seen it with the Villa games. We've seen it with all of these other games, like I mentioned. He just doesn't seem to learn this. It's basic. Why would you mess with 3 or 4 positions so you could just bring on Mosquera? Bring on Mosquera. Now, I think his thinking is Mosquera isn't as good of a ball-playing player as Ben White is. So what? So what? Who cares? No one was even attacking anywhere near them. West Ham barely touched the ball. What you've done then now is move everywhere. You've brought crap players on, and you've relinquished all the momentum, all the impetus, all the everything in that game. And West Ham took that impetus into the next half. They didn't just have that for the second half of the first half. They carried on and carried on and carried on, much to the point where you're sitting there thinking, okay, well, we kind of need something to happen now. And Mikel Arteta's bringing subs on, like Zuba-Mendy going, oh, fuck, he's fucked. We'll bring him back on. Scratching his head, we'll bring Mosquera on now. Could have done that just for one sub in the 23rd minute. Just that's all you had to do. The most obvious sub in the fucking planet. If you give that squad and that scenario to anyone on the planet bar Mikel Arteta, they're just going, we'll just bring Mosquera on then, yeah? Not Mikel Arteta. Nah. He's got to bring Kepa on up front for it. Do you know what I mean? He's got to start bringing academy kids in, like, and not play them ever again. Well, why do we just have to make things? And what Normsy said so well, DJB. Why do we have to make things so difficult?
Well, there's a couple of things here. For a manager in 7 years of management to put your best midfield player, or probably one of the best midfield players in European football, at right back, when the title is not won, that's a sackable offence. But let's not beat around the bush. If Calafiori hadn't have got injured, Declan Rice would have played the whole game at right back. Let's make no bones about that. He also had Hincapié on the bench. He could have left Skelly in the midfield, and he could have put Hincapié at left back, because when he put Skelly's not a left back. This is all what everyone's been saying. We said it from day one 2 years ago. Everyone's only just saying it now, recently. Come April, he's not a left back. So what does he do? He doesn't only put Declan Rice at right back. Calafiori gets injured. So it isn't tactically awareness that he's changed it. He's had to change it by default. And these are all the things he's been doing throughout his management by default. But then he doesn't only change it, he takes Skelly out of the midfield when he could have put Hincapié at left back, right? And then what happens? Bowen starts to get a little bit of freedom, because Skelly, we then see the true Skelly left back. And then Bowen starts to get in the game. This guy has got away with murder, and no one mentions it, because we got the 3 points, we got over the line, we're 2 wins away, we're this away, we're that away. But let me tell you now, this manager will make the same mistakes next season against a Man City team that has strengthened, a Liverpool team that have got their act together, a Man United team that's going to strengthen in the summer and probably either keep Carrick on a roll or get another manager in. They're going to be better. All of these teams are going to be better. And when you've won a title, they all want a piece of you. And if you think this guy is not going to make any mistakes just because we've won the league, you're wrong. And this is the reason why I said, go out on a high, win the trophies. Thank you very much. Let's freshen it up. Let's start again. Let's not have a manager that does rookie mistakes week in, week out, season in, season out. Let's get a manager that we know that we can rely on, that are not going to make mistakes by putting Declan Rice at right back, that's not going to put Skelly out of the midfield and put him at left back when you had an option on the bench. Yeah. It's not going to. He's not going. He's also going to bring in an attacking prowess to the team, where players are not falling off the end of a cliff. Yeah, because at the end of the day, this is a manager that you saw in all its glory yesterday, making mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. And the only reason why he got away with it is because Calafiori got injured. Thank the Lord, because if he hadn't have done, Calafiori would have been playing left back. Declan Rice would have been playing right back. They would have had that goal disallowed, but it wouldn't have mattered because they'd have scored probably 1 or 2 before that. These are the problems. These are the things you've got to flag up. We flag it up on these channels, but all on, oh, yeah, we're champions, we're this, we're that, we're this, we're that. That well may be. But hand on your heart, if you think this manager is not going to learn by his mistakes next season, you're living in a different planet. Because you make them mistakes against PSG, we're done.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
There's
no recovery from
playing
that.
up against Declan Rice at fullback. We're done. We're done. Right? Can you imagine Skelly at left back when you got Douay and people like this?
Yeah. Could you imagine Vitinha and co without Declan Rice in our midfield? You know what I mean?
Let's not get it right. This guy has got away with it. He gets lucky. Whenever his back's against the wall, something happens. We get a decision. We get a penalty. We get an own goal. We get a goal disallowed from the opposition. Something will come up at the right time. We never come off of that pitch going an absolute masterclass by the manager. Brilliant. Yesterday against West Ham, we got lucky. And we got lucky through the VAR. And we got lucky because his substitutions were absolutely rotten. Now, I'm not a Zubimendi fan, but if I'm Zubimendi, I'm causing all sorts of hell in that changing rooms. You bring him on and then you bring him off. That tells you everything you need to know about how he treats players and his man management and everything else. The confidence has gone for that fella now, completely gone. And this is how it's going to go on and on and on and on. And it's just honestly, there were so many options he could have done. But let's be honest, going back to that substitution, all he had to do, Ben White comes off, Mosquera goes on at the right back, job done. No, I'm in charge. Look at me. Blah, blah, blah. And he got away with it.
Mutant alert. Mutant alert. Mutant alert. Mutant alert.
We've got one.
Yeah, go on.
We've got one, boys. Yeah. Oi, boy, we got to allow the crap, okay? Well,
yeah, it was great.
Well, I'm allowing it. Don't worry, mate.
It was an absolute genius yesterday.
The crap negative talk and hold that. It's very heavy, but I'm trying. You know what I mean? Very much. Oh, I'm spilling it.
Johnny, give me a hand, man. Johnny, catch it. Catch it.
D, over to you, mate. Over to you, D.
Masterclass. Absolute masterclass. Quality.
Can I ask you guys something?
Go on. Get the season.
Because me and Aaron were talking about this when we were on the phone after the game. Did you guys on the broadcast in America, they said the Calafiori substitution was a tactical change. They said nothing of the injury. And then I didn't know what was said on the English commentary for the game, if they were saying that it was a tactical or it was an injury. But in America, they all said it was a tactical change to why he sent Skelly back to the left back position when he was bringing on Zubimendi. Because I didn't get it. Because as soon as we made that change, we were a whole different team.
Yeah.
But the thing is, why would it be a tactical change?
When it doesn't work, exactly.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say, if Calafiori's not injured, right, if not injured, you keep Skelly, which for the last 2 games has been doing the bits in there. Why would you then move him to left back? Because Calafiori is injured. That's what it is.
Yep.
And so when we look at what's happened, that one move, as DJB said, that one move of making that big decision to bring on Zubimendi and move Declan Rice to right back just messed up the momentum of the game, the control of the game. We lost control of the game, right?
Never
And
really
so
regained
all of a sudden,
it, did we, Toms?
we didn't retain it. We didn't retain it.
Yeah.
So it had a snowball effect. Do you imagine? You know when you know the snowball effect. It gathers pace. It gets bigger and bigger. Turns into an avalanche, and then it just gets destruction comes your way, sort of thing. And so this is what this guy's done. And so in his press conference, he's tried to sort of cover it up by saying it was tactical. He also said the reason why he brought on Zubimendi because it needed more legs in midfield.
Yeah.
Mutant
Hold on
alert.
Mutant alert. Mutant alert. Mutant alert.
I've had this channel for I think 18 months and I've never blocked a single person on there, not one. So
No, keep them in. Keep them in. They
Keep
might.
them in.
I've never blocked one person ever.
You know what's interesting, guys? What's interesting?
I don't mind the challenge. So,
when Arsenal lose, do we go
I'm not
into
a
their
waste man.
channels?
I'm an electrician.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we don't do plumbing here. We don't do plumbing.
Me. Yeah. And do you know what makes me laugh as well with the other one? Like still, yeah. It's like the only sort of, I suppose, thing that you could probably look at would be negative would be the subs because it doesn't highlight doesn't highlight well on Mikel Arteta. He even realised it in game. Yep. So we're just highlighting what your manager highlighted on fucking live TV. Like that's literally that. Mikel the Messiah.
Why do people get so hurt? Why do they get so hurt? I really want to know. What is it? Somebody tell me. Yeah. Did he produce you or something? Did you have babies with him or something? Please tell me.
The only thing I can say is why can they have an opinion? Why can they have an opinion about what they don't agree with, but we can't have an opinion on what they don't agree with? I don't get it. It's football.
DJB, do we go on into other people's channels? Do we go into other people's channels and say, hold that? No? And do this and that. Never. But yet, they got to come over here, because they want to prove a point to say that, you need to say sorry to Mikel Arteta. You can't come to the... Hold on. But by the way, guys, just to let you know, you have to have permission to go to the parade, yeah? So remember, don't just turn up, yeah? You have to put your name in the ballot, and the top gooners will choose who's welcome to the parade, okay? So DJB, if you don't see me there, I maybe lost out on the ballot. You know what I mean?
How comes you can't question substitutions in a football?
I don't know.
Can I just
what
ask
has this world come to? Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Talk Ball FC. If Arsenal win the league, am I okay if I come to the stadium to parade, please? I'll be a good boy from now on.
You probably don't even know where the stadium is.
Please. Yeah.
That
one Seven Sisters, is it?
Probably never been there in his life.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Oh dear, I don't know. But let me know. And I want it in a company lettered email, Talkball.
Yeah.
You'll find that at the beginning of the channel. So yeah, just let us know. I'm dying for your approval. It's like, do you ever remember when you're back at school years ago? I don't know whether you guys sort of had it, but I had it where you'd fucking like a little Chico, only when you're young, and you'd write fucking tick box yes if you'll go out with me and give it to them. Yeah. I'll do that one. Tick box yes if I'm allowed to go to the parade. Talk Ball FC. Yeah, that would be great. We'll have a little referendum and all of that, and all of these boys. They can let us, but only if we're being nice.
We'll go to the ballot. We'll go to the ballot box.
There's an old saying for these top gooners that forget this shit. The difference between good and great is in the details. That's why we talk about this stuff. We want to see Arsenal be great. We want to see them win. The details is what we have a problem with because it's the same old thing. DJ, you and Maddie, shout out to Southern Gooner. You guys were talking about this all last year. Didn't we only win one fucking game last year with Partey as the right back?
Yep.
Like 11 or 12 games.
Yeah.
So
it's horrendous.
So if that's the record with Partey, what's going to make it any difference with a banged up Rice?
Exactly. It can hardly run.
What are we talking about? That's the difference here with this. And again, you know, everybody, oh, yes, we have a puncher's chance against PSG in the Champions League. Yes, that's true because it's a one-off game.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if you're telling me Declan Rice is going up against Varashelia, I'm sorry. It ain't happening. That's why
It ain't happening. Yeah.
This nonsense.
Declan Rice lost his first duel within a couple of seconds while he was at right back.
This is the worry.
Just like, what are we doing here?
This is the
I just see him run past. I was like, okay, this is what's happening now, is it?
Yeah, but the worrying thing is, if he can do it in a game with that magnitude against West Ham, where you're going for the league, we know he can do it against PSG. That's the sort of thing, the madness that he would do against PSG. And if it all goes wrong, what have we got to turn around and say? Oh, yeah, but he got us to a final. The man's a genius.
Do you think that he, based on the mistake that he made by, as I say, putting Rice at that, and then everything just fell apart? You know, Calafiori, you said it was a tactical change. No, it wasn't. He ended up getting injured, and that's why you bought him. So basically, everything went wrong. You started to panic, and you started to bring on all your attacking players. So, because when you saw Odegaard coming on and Abbas, I thought, oh God, here we go. The guy is still bringing Noni Madueke and got Dowman on the bench. What are we doing here?
Still persevering with Noni Madueke.
On top of that, he died on the hill with his players when we lost to Man City. Why are you trying this again? Why are you trying to die on the hill with your players? Because exactly to what Aaron said earlier, there's always an excuse with this. The excuse with Man City was, oh, we played well. That was a very good performance by the players. No, it wasn't. Our whole game plan was we started Havertz to rush Donnarumma. That was the whole game plan in a nutshell, to hope that he was going to cause a turnover for us to go on and score. So he died on the hill with the players there. He then realized that Skelly is the better option in the midfield. Oh, lo and behold, we've been yelling that since the beginning of the damn season, you know? And then all of a sudden you try to die on the hill in a West Ham game. To what DJ said. Here, first of all, that kid Somerville owned the left-hand side. He owned the left-hand side. Yeah. You thought a banged-up Rice was going to stop him? We're lucky that kid doesn't have any shooting boots, or they would have beat us.
Yeah.
And then it's the same old thing. When you screw up, when the fullbacks are not playing to potential, the center backs then have to go further out wide to help out the fullbacks, which then opens up the play even more. If West Ham had a competent
in that game, you had Trossard. Trossard had to go and cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see when Trossard had to go and cover in that defensive thingy? This is what we're talking about. And the commentator said, "Oh, this is what Arsenal are about. You know, they help each other out." You listen, if you've got Calafiori going marauding all over the place and leaving the left back exposed, one ball over top, he's nowhere to be found. And that's why Gabriel has to shuffle across, but he can't keep doing that. Stick with the proper left back. Kieran Tierney. What's happened to him? Oh no! Oh, he's too injury. The thing is,
I would have loved him and all. Could you imagine nothing was signed there and Berta walked in and looked at that and went, "What? You're telling me you're thinking of letting this geezer go?"
Keep the geezer.
I don't think what ended up happening with Castellanos. That header that Castellanos got that Raya saved was because he wasn't really marked in the middle because the center backs are getting pulled out wide.
Exactly. Pulled. They were literally getting pulled.
Yeah,
so you had all that space in the middle.
This is West Ham that we're talking about. Again, to what we just said, if Calafiori's running free reign, you think Desiree Doué is going to allow to not just get shut down and not do anything on that right-hand side if he's got free reign? And again, look what happened against PSG last year. He moved Vara from the left-hand side to the right side to attack Skelly because Skelly's not a good left back.
That's right.
This isn't anything new that we're saying here, people. This is tried and proven shit that we've seen doesn't work, and it puts us at risk. We're done with the risk. It's 2 games. Just do what's best for the club and get over the damn line.
Yeah.
And that's why, sorry to cut, that's why going forward, if you know, we have no power whether he stays or goes. So as much as I don't want him to stay, yeah, if he wins us the Premier League, and I'll say thank you very much, Mikel Arteta. Well done. You can walk out there as the legendary thing for your top gooner guys and whatever. And if he goes, top gooners follow him. You know what I mean? Because that's all you seem to be doing is following him. You've got this tapped up thing about him where you're supporting him rather than supporting the club.
Crazy.
Yeah, Arsenal first, not Arteta. It's Arsenal first. Arteta secondary, because Arsenal, the fans will always be here. The managers move on. So why?
He's
why
an
are we
he's
doing
an
this?
employee of the club. At the end of the day,
Exactly.
we support the
That's what it
club.
is.
He's
just
doing
an
the
employee.
minimum expectations, Aaron.
Yeah.
He's a manager of Arsenal Football Club with an unbreakable contract, £15 million a year, and it's taken him 7 years to do what he's doing this season. What he should have done last season.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
and the
get it
season
right.
before that,
We've given him, we've given, and the season before that, So we've given him 2 seasons grace to go again. So he's had more chances to get over the line again. But this is what I'm saying. People think, oh yeah, but look what he's done. As if Arsenal are sort of a Bolton or a, no disrespects, but we've got people talking as if we're Burnley. We're Arsenal Football Club.
I mean,
all its history.
Yeah.
When a manager comes to Arsenal Football Club, your minimum expectations is challenging for silverware.
Yeah,
exactly.
That is what you got to do. That is what you got to do. That's the magnitude of the job.
Yep. Facts.
So this ain't
to add to that. Go on. Sorry, go on. I thought you was done. Go on.
No, what I'm just saying, this ain't something out the ordinary. This is something that Wenger's done. This is something that George Graham has done. This is something that Bertie Mee's done. Chapman.
And very quickly, D. And look at the time that they took to do it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. Because do you know what I was going to add on to that, D, as well? And I've got to get it in there now when I'm saying that. One of the common themes of what we always told is, and it can be whether you're reading it on a website or listening to someone on YouTube or a football punchy program or a commentator or whatever, is you hear about, he's worked wonders with the squad. And there or thereabouts the same sort of meaning, worked wonders with the squad. Now, let's just say, for argument's sake, that was solid. Let's just run with that. And let's just say, hypothetically, he has worked wonders with the squad. Okay, brilliant. When you add in to the fact that it's taken him 7 seasons and £1 billion spent, I don't think it's that impressive. I just really don't. What would be impressive is if you were at this level in 2 or 3 years. Then I'll be going, this guy's onto something. Like, yeah, okay, you know what? He did take a bit of a decline in somewhat his squad. That needed a bit of work doing to it. Do you know what I mean? Not huge work, but, you know, there was a bit of work to do that. And I've always appreciated that. The work he's done with the defence, I've always appreciated. This can't really be argued. He's done well there. No Arsenal fan here or ever in the planet, by the way, has ever criticised Arsenal for his defence. Just saying. So we can realise and praise. Just saying. The point that I'm getting at is I don't know. It just kind of sits me as frustrating when I look at things in that avenue. Yeah. And I'm just like, well, it's not impressive. If you kept giving me unlimited funds, I'm not a football manager or a football coach. I've never been around that level of football. I reckon I could crack it within a decade. So if he still ain't cracked it after 7 years, that don't make him special. It just don't, does it? It just doesn't. Like, you know.
Yeah, no, it doesn't, Aaron. And the thing is, what makes it would be special if he's worked wonders with his squad. If you see Saka balling out every season and scoring 15 goals, Martinelli scoring 15, 12 goals a season. Yeah.
Well, we should be seeing that from him, DJ.
Declan Rice from the 8th position in midfield in double figures. Gorkarez, although he's got 19 goals in all comps, but if he's balling out getting 20 goals in the Premier League, that's working wonders with a team. When players like this, what's not working wonders with a team is when Saka's falling off of a cliff. He scored five goals all season. Martinelli is unrecognisable. Gorkarez is struggling to make double figures in the Premiership. Declan Rice's goal tally from midfield is not up to I don't think, and I'm a massive fan of Declan Rice. I think he's a wonderful player, but his goal scoring input should be a lot more than what it is. Let's be honest, you know. And this is what I'm saying. Then I'd be saying you have worked wonders with a team. Everyone is worth money. This player cannot be sold and leave this football club. We're sitting here now. We can reel off 6, 7 players that can leave the football club, and we wouldn't lose sleep over it.
Yeah,
it's probably harder.
And then a few more of a change. Go on, G.
I was just going to add to DJ. It's probably easier to pick the players we want to keep than name off all the players that we got to let go of at this current point in time. And just to add to what DJ said about what the bare minimum is for Arsenal, I say this all the time, man. Inter Milan, when Mancini was the manager, 7 trophies in 4 years. They still sacked him because it wasn't good enough because they wanted the Champions League. If that's
but they're entitled though.
They're entitled again.
But
that's what happens when you're one of the big 3 in any country. Trophies is mandatory, not optional. It's mandatory. So again, that's what the standard needs to be.
Yeah, do you know what? When you get self like successful people, whether men or female, you know, and they haven't been offered a hand or anything like that, they've just built an empire from the ground up. Do you reckon that they had the attitude of, oh, don't worry about it, we'll do it next year, or they'll try and get their success as quick as possible through work, through hunger, for expectation, not through this entitledness, because they were like, yeah, I am entitled. Yeah. I want this and I'm going to fucking get it. That's what we should be having. We don't have that. It's just oh yeah, but we were close, weren't we? You know, you can look at that in many different facets of the analogy that I use. You know, winners want to win all the time. All the time. You know, they can compete in anything or make something a competition because they just want to win. And for me, I don't see a problem with that. We support a football club, and expensively support a football club, by the way, whether that be financially or whether that be by time. We all spend a lot of expense on Arsenal Football Club. So absolutely deserve an opinion about sort of some things. You know what I mean? Whether you have to agree or not, it doesn't matter. But, you know, when we're sort of looking at things like the expenditures and then you get the old, yeah, but you're entitled, that makes you entitled. What? Because I expect Mikel Arteta or a manager at Arsenal Football Club. Sack Mikel Arteta out of the equation. If a manager has been at Arsenal Football Club for 7 seasons and he's spent and had the backing that manager has, I'd want them out as well. I'd want, if Arsene Wenger was fresh off the invincible doubles and stopped winning things for free, well, sorry, bruv. Like, you spent £1 billion now and you still ain't cracking it, mate. You clearly are done here. Sorry, Arsene. You've got to go. George, you know, I love what you've done with us, mate. You know, that 89 will never be forgot. You've spent £1 billion now, George, and you ain't really winning anything, mate. Like, thanks for all of them trophies, but we want some more and you ain't doing it. Tell George. But these lot are doing this to a manager that's won the FA Cup in COVID. Granted, I love it. It's an FA Cup. Brilliant, excellent, wonderful, fantastic. But the very fact that you have not been able to build up with it and have chest like fucking The Rock coming out, do you know what I mean? For having a chest like Ian Bill, do you know what I mean? It's madness to me. I just don't understand where all the credit comes from. But hey ho, do you know what I mean? What can you really do about that? But what I will do is bring. Whose turn is it to talk here? I've lost a little bit of track on there.
Norsky, I think.
I kind of jumped in. I kind of jumped in, sort of. So just sort of to say, just off the back of what you're saying, Aaron, in terms of the expectation. Listen, you spend a lot of hard-earned cash going, and time. Time is money. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know, we sacrifice times. I do the content. I go on, I jump on your channel. I jump on Gianni's. I jump on DJB's, and you know, the missus. Sometimes she might not be happy about it, but she understands. She understands my frustration when I'm in the house shouting down at the TV. They can't hear me on the TV, but you know what I mean. You just hope that somehow they can receive my vibes through the TV because they frustrate you so much. And Arteta, you know, this guy has been the most backed Arsenal manager in the history of Arsenal. And so therefore, there is an expectation. There is an expectation in terms of the money that you spent 7 years and the money that the owners are giving you. I would, if it was me and that was my money, I'd be expecting a return. I want to see something. It's 7 years of doing what you're doing, 1 FA Cup, and if you want to count your 3 plates, then or 2 plates, whatever it is, then put them in there. But it's not good enough, not for the money that you spent and the money that you're on. And this whole thing of why we came, you know, you took us from here to here. And I've heard that. He came in this, he knew what he was doing. The guy is a politician, PR process. He knew from the very beginning. And, you know, somebody even asked him in the press conference, the last press conference, about the 5-year plan and whatnot. They all pander to this. And the problem is he's in control of it, even to the point where they're announcing, you know, that the contract is pretty much signed. He doesn't even have to win anything. And what are we doing here? Of course he's going to be happy. It's a cushy number. If you're told, as long as you get us in the top 4, second place or whatever, first place, whatever. Obviously, first place gets you the cup, but second place, three years in a row, competed maybe twice, fell off last year. This year, we're in it. Football hasn't been great, but now, you know, I expect us now to get us over the line, and I want to see us May, whenever it is, 24th last game, us at the Palace Stadium at Sellers Park. Them doing a guard of honor. That's what I want to see. Not even giving his speech, Berlin going, oh, guys, you know what I mean? We're so cool, guys. We're going to go again, guys. And just give me another 1.3 billion, guys. And then
we had a dream.
By the way, I'm getting you. Live the dream. And that's what it is. It's the same old. Yeah? Get us over the line. That's what we want. Get us over the line. This is why we have these conversations on these platforms. Yeah? It's not an agenda against Arteta. It's about us. Because it doesn't matter what manager comes in. If you can't get us over the line, you then go. Simple as. And if you do win the Premier League, if you do win the Champions League, then you need to step up next year. It's not good enough because you've got Liverpool fans wanting Slot out after walking the league last season. They want him out because what? They have standards. We have standards. But it's, you know, he's competing. He's competing. Because those people have not seen Arsenal win a Premier League, go unbeaten for a whole season and winning trophies. They haven't seen that. So they don't understand what it is to win trophies. That's the era that we're from. We've seen it. So we want to see it again. Sorry.
Mate, them sort of things, and then you could mean them sort of things like, we're competing and you know, getting a trophy for competing. They're the things you give little kids and losers.
Facts.
That's just people might not like that way of delivering that, but that is what you do. You give there you go, well done for competing. You give them to little children, little 5-year-olds. Yeah, there you go, well done. Do you know what I mean? A little thing for you, having a little PE day and all of that. Well done, you. And losers. They're the only 2 categories that you give them to. Why should we have the mentality of a 5-year-old and a loser? Like, I don't understand it, and I never will have. Because I have the mentality of a 6-year-old and I'm not a loser. You know what I mean? I'm not, right? I'm not.
But to add to what Norms is saying, and that whole bullshit of, where he's taking us from, let's all remember something here. If it wasn't for that draw for Manchester City, City is still in the hunt for a domestic treble. And let's remember this. If they're still in the hunt for the domestic treble, they pass us. So under his watch, £1 billion spent, we've gone from the 3rd biggest team to England then to the 4th. So I don't want to hear no more about this, where he's taking us from, because that alone is diabolical, that's even in the position that we're in, that you spent $1 billion and we've allowed another team to potentially pass us up as being the 3rd biggest team in England. That's unforgivable right there. That's why it's mandatory to win. Trophies is not an option for a club like this.
No.
If Man City was to win the Premier League, God forbid, and Chelsea won the FA Cup, would we be joint 5th then?
No,
I'm sure Chelsea are they a couple of trophies
Chelsea's
behind.
Like 3. I think Chelsea's like 3 or 4 trophies.
I didn't realise it was that, to be fair. I thought it was a lot closer than that.
If we walked away with none, if somehow we walked away with nothing and City walked away with a domestic double, they would be tied with us for the 3rd biggest team in England on trophies.
My God.
Yeah.
And that's crazy, the thing. That's why I'm saying that the amount of money, when you spend $1 billion, there is no more talk like what DJB saying when people try to make it out like we're a Bolton or we're a Burnley. That's not okay. AJ's said Chelsea are 2 behind us and City are 1 behind us. So
I thought it was a little closer.
But that's the point. We're not one of those clubs. We're in the conversations with all the big teams across Europe, whether we like it or not, whether the top gooners like it or not. When you are in that elk, trophies is mandatory no matter what the situation is. If you're not good enough to go and win the league, fight for the highest position in the table, but go after the domestic trophies. Don't just throw those away. It's not up for a debate when you're that big of a team. Sorry, it's just not.
The thing is, fans don't look at the bigger picture. They don't look at the bigger picture because you've got a lot of stuff at stake right now. Yeah, the legacy of Arsenal being the third biggest club, and you got a club like Man City that could just overtake us, right? And then see what it is. They look at the little moments. We had a great time at the Emirates. That was just moments. We competed and got to the semi-finals. We had the most amount of points, more points than the Invincibles. For them, it's not just about moments and about stats. It doesn't get you trophies. But they live in all records. They live in those moments. They're not seeing the bigger picture. And what will happen is when we'll be sleeping whilst Man City, Chelsea go past us, and it will hit them in the face when they stack up all their trophies in a line. I mean, every time I watch Yasso or any of those Chelsea guys, and they got all the 4 European trophies, they won all of them. What are we doing here?
Lewis-Skelly, they've all got them.
The Arsenal.
What
are we doing?
The Arsenal.
Yeah. Listen, Razor's in the chat, and he's made a good point. Look, we know the ball's not going to sack him. We know.
While you're doing this thing, I'm going to go get
look, the answer to that question, Razor, the ball weren't going to sack him whether we would have won trophies or lost them. That's the sad thing.
Yep.
If we'd have walked away with absolutely nothing this season, and it's highly unlikely that we will, but we probably get over the line in the Premier League. It doesn't matter. This board was going to back him anyway. The contract was on the table, win or lose. So this is the point we're trying to make. This is not about this, getting personal with the manager. This is what we're seeing. The manager was never under any real pressure to win anything this season because the contract was already on the table. He was going to stay here no matter what because the money he was bringing in, the revenue he was bringing in was working for the owners.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where it all falls down for me. Secondly, you got to ask your questions this. These people that are in the chat, okay, it's your opinion. You praise the manager and everything else. That's fine. I respect the manager, but I don't want the manager, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. What did he do tactically yesterday to win that game? I saw what he done tactically that we could have lost it, but I didn't see anything he done tactically how we won that game.
Yeah.
We got over the line by default. Let's be truthful.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we've been seeing in many, many games, not just this season, last season as well. Right? He done nothing in that game against West Ham to win that game.
Yeah. And we're back to the old
facts.
All I saw him was tactically nearly screw it up. I didn't see him tactically go and win it.
Yeah.
So these are the questions that you have to ask when you look at the euphoria and all like, oh, look what he's done. It's brilliant. It's fantastic. Spin it around the other way and ask yourself questions. And this is what you've got to do. And I keep saying it on when I go live and everything else. I'm realistic. I think outside the box. I look at all permutations, what this manager does. I looked at it when Arsene Wenger was in charge. I was the same when Terry Neal was in charge, when George Graham was in charge. I thought to myself, what has he done to actually win this game or stop us going ahead and winning this game?
Can I slightly challenge that? Well, not challenge it, but can I bring an actual? Yes, not challenge. Can I bring an extra point in there? One of the things he actually done did make a massive impact on the game, but it's not because of tactical genius. It's because he does it anyway, just throw a body for body on. And I can't stand the man. I think he's the worst captain we've ever had. But Odegaard changed the game when he come on. Now, I did want to quickly say that's not because of Arteta's gone, right, now, I've seen a gap in West Ham where if we bring Martin Odegaard and do this and do that, we'll win the game because of this. He's just gone, right, Ezra's fucked too, can play in that position. Martin, get on, go on.
What he done there was Ezra was having a bit of a stinker. He didn't show up.
Exactly.
And it was a like for like sub. And that's
and Martin decided to have a good game for a change.
Otherwise,
he did. He come on and done a bit.
He'd have got the best out of Eze. He'd have gone to Eze, right, get out of that 10, I don't want you rigid anymore. I want you to play with a little bit of freedom.
Yeah.
Facts.
I want you to create. I want you to
Yep.
then start and try and get the balls into Gorkarez's feet.
Mhm.
Yeah, but he didn't. Tactically, he could have done that with when Eze was on the field in the first half, and we could have blown them away, and we could have been 2 or 3-0 up in the first half. But he didn't. That first 20 minutes, although we was on top, it was still cautious.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was
and
still
right,
cautious.
yeah.
Everyone had to stay rigid. Everyone had to stay in their position, and that's why we lost Eze.
Yeah.
And then what happened was when Odegaard came on, Odegaard was allowed to play with freedom because there was no other choice.
Yeah.
Yep.
We had to go and score.
At that point, yeah,
Just-
that's what I
oh,
was saying. So it all comes back from allowing the impetus to change, and the game is running away from us. And then you're getting to this point where, you know, if we end up drawing that game or losing that game, the impetus is like, or the situation is that Man City are there sniffing, just waiting. So he's thinking to himself, what do I do? So you just saying, right, just throw everything. Caution, just throw everybody on and just hope that it happens. And the old adage of, okay, we scored that goal in the 83rd minute, lovely link-up play between Odegaard and Trossard and whatever, right?
Yeah.
But we're still in this situation where we're allowing the pressure, and we've gone through games in this season where we've allowed the pressure, and it's only VAR that has saved our bacon in that game. Because if it was not for the hold on whatever, and everybody's going to have their view on it, it was a foul. It is a foul. He's holding him and his arm. It's a foul. But at the end of the day, it took 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 17 seconds to say, right, they got it wrong, and we got lucky. So at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it took a VAR decision, a massive VAR decision, to determine our fate, whether we're going to become Premier League champions, and the fate of West Ham. But lucky enough, Spurs does what Spurs do, Spurs it up. So it is what it is.
Come on, Spursing it up and say what? Come on, the Spurs, just keep Spursing it up. But just quickly as well, I wanted to say to Razor, that's what it's all about. You're slightly disagreeing with something or coming in with a new way of thinking. Do you know what, man? That's cool. Just say it respectfully. Well, you get an adult answer from DJB, and you get someone that goes, yeah, that's cool, man. We get it. And guys, be sort of realistic. When you are being realistic, I believe we're sort of, and I probably do speak for the group on the panel today, is we're sort of more going for what we believe should be done rather than the reality. Do you know what I'm saying? The reality is we all know he's probably going to be here next year, sadly. But we just sort of say what we expect. Do you know what I mean? That's all. And you don't have to agree with that dude, and I don't have to agree with you, vice versa, and all of that. But just fair play. This is the difference between you coming in, mate, and asking a normal question like that, and just putting a point out there, and we can talk about it. Like that, or the other absolute pillocks, and then they get the fucking
mutant alert. Mutant alert. Mutant alert. Mutant alert.
Do you know what I mean? There's the difference. Do you know what I'm saying? So big up to you, Razor. Yeah, and more sensible questions in, please, if you don't agree with us. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
I actually don't mind it when people disagree, because I'll either learn from something that they might say and I might end up agreeing with them, or maybe vice versa, or maybe we just won't bloody ever agree on it. Who cares? Do you know what I mean? Like, it don't really make much of a difference. Just give us 2 seconds, boys, as well. I just wanted to say I'm a little bit late on this. So I do apologise to people. Why is that not clicking up? My bloody laptop, is it being a git? Of course, it's not showing this. Why is it not showing that? Oh, here we go. Sorry, everyone. Yeah, so it's a Suge. Big up the Suge. Big up the Suge, you Sam. Big up to Adam, Legends, DJB, Normsy, and Gianni in the chat. Come on, man. And we did try and get this one up first because our Mama Flossie, man, our superstar girl, our Geordie girl. Evening, lads, but she can't stay. No problem, my girl. No problem, my girl. But love anyway. What a lovely woman she is. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You nabbed it in just before I got there. Yeah, DJ, yeah. Fair dues, mate. And we got a bit of Suge again is coming. Oh, geez. Rice at right back is genius. I smell sarcasm. Let's remember, he was a centre back. Who are we to judge the man? Says Suge, the myth, the legend that is Mikel Arteta. We're just part-time fans. And I actually agree with you, Such, wholeheartedly, 150%. I mean, what you just said sent shivers down my spine of just sheer disappointment in myself that I've only just now seen the light. You know, Rice at right back, obviously. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just a typical genius Mikel Arteta act. Within 1 minute of him playing there, he got absolutely tortured down the right. That's Mikel. But big up the usage, man, and yeah, it's nice to see that two people. Do you know what I mean? You remind me a bit of Mikel Arteta with the way you think. To be fair, Suge, I like that, mate. Yeah, big up the usage. And always been nice. I should be digging him. To be fair, he's actually been nice to me for a change. Sorry, Suge. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Suge just jumped back in as well. Mr. Mutant as well. I can only attack Adam. Here we go. So yeah, so get out, you bum. And I said, yeah, do you know what? Be like Razor. If you're going to disagree or make a point that isn't what sort of we're saying it, lob it in there. If I can see it, we'll have a talk about it. Do you know what I mean? Just don't be an absolute melt. That's all you've got to do. Just don't be a knob. It's not difficult. But yeah, I wanted to bring Gianni in on this year because we'll keep it Premier League. And of course, man, it's sort of onto what we have been talking about. You know, we got the win in the end, but boys, I don't know about you, man. Like that, this season's getting a lot. Now, I'm quite happy if we get over the line, just to crawl through it mentally, physically, just dragging yourself through it. You know, it's been a lot actually more difficult than I imagined it would sort of be. You know, I must sort of said I didn't think we were going to win the league for a long time, and I'm happy to put it on screen for the second time. I went on Tony's West Ham chat yesterday. Big up to Tony and the boys on the panel.
Yeah, big up Tony.
And I actually said, and I'm happy to say this on camera straight into the old lens. Hello. I now believe Arsenal will win the Premier League after that West Ham game. I just can't look past us not being able to beat Burnley and Crystal Palace. It's just as simple as that for me. You know, if we had trickier games against, you know, bogey teams, maybe I think different. Maybe it was still, you know, if it was still the goal difference, yeah, I wouldn't be absolutely as confident. But you know, with the two games now, you know, you kind of got to be we just got to be doing it. It's as simple as that. I can't really say anything else on that, you know. But I tell you what, it's been putting me through my paces, boys. Right, it's been putting me through I'm sweating just thinking about it. Like, do you know what I mean? I mean, it's madness. And I've been drinking down the boozer where I watched it yesterday. It's my local. I've been drinking down there for like 20 odd years. I used to know the old owners, and I used to playing the team with a son. So we'd go in there after thing, and we'd give him like 4 pence, and he'd pretend to put money in the till, and he'd come out of all the beers and all of that. So we used to get steaming for absolutely quite cool. And I was in there after that substitution yesterday after them, and then I see what he was doing, and then changing it around. Oh, I'd had a lot to drink by that point. Anyway, I mean, Johnny, you was on the phone with me for about half hour. I don't even think I made any sense once. You know what I mean? Big up, Johnny. Fucking. But I half lost my rag, I did. And I know a lot of the Arsenal fans down there anyway is 50-50. Some of them are normal, some of them are not. And I always get irate with things like that. I was like, this fucking manager. Where is it? Oh, I've lost it. I should have had that pre-prep. Never mind. We'll go again. We'll go again. You know, we'll get it. We're working it out. We're still, you know, greasing up the thing and that. But yeah, the manager woman, she's looking over at me. She's like, so Aaron, will you shut the fuck up about Mikel Arteta? And I looked over and just had a great one. I was like, fuck off. No, I will not shut up about Mikel Arteta. And I was like, you over there, I can see your side-eyeing me, mate. I was like, what? He's like, just be happy. I was like, what do you mean, just be fucking happy? We've just lost control of the game. It's the last game right to the end. Don't blow it now. We've seen this scenario, and thankfully we did get it over the line. We've seen this so many times in the seasons where there's this pivotal little point which when managers make their money or earn their money, rather. It's them little pivotal points where something will happen, a Ben White injury, and you can't just do the simple thing. You do the retarded thing. It's frustrating as hell. But yeah, I digress. After that game, I'll tell you what, my heart, it was going mad. I had one of them Apple Watch things on. And it was like, you need to go down the hospital, I think, son. You know what I mean? It was beeping and flashing. And I was like, oh, this is doing like, what's this, a new little screensaver settings? My mate was like, no, I don't think your heart should be that high, mate. I was like, oh, all right. Well, I better take it off then. Better out of sight. You know what I mean? There you go. But Gianni, man. I mean, look, listen, we've kind of just got to deal with it. We've got to grin and bear and get through it, but it's taken a lot out of me, G. What's it taking out of you over there, brother? Times and everything as well, you know, getting up at silly times, working, and etc. It must be hard for you as well, bro.
Man, I'll be honest with you. I've been drinking a lot more Johnny Walker lately with some of these damn things. So
Get up, Johnny.
And to be frank, after the West Ham game, I said I think once we beat West Ham, I think we will go on to win. This was the game that I was worried about. I went and bought me a 400 bottle of Johnny Walker Blue Label over here, so I'm waiting to crack. I'm waiting to crack that bad boy when we win. So listen, it's been Heart Attack FC is what you've called it, and it's what we've been calling it all year. It's one moment away from a freaking heart attack with this team. So listen, man, it's not ideal, but if we crawl over, I'll take it because I want to see this team win again. Everything that we say on these shows is not for us to hope that this team loses. I'd rather us win, even with the fact that I don't like this manager. I'd still rather see him win because that means my team is winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is what it is at the end of the day, man. But it has not been an easy league. It's not been an easy league just in general to watch. It's not just Arsenal. This has been the Premier League the last 2 seasons has been a difficult watch. Let's just be honest about it.
Yeah.
But
100%.
I agree.
This season, with everything that we've seen, I mean, we went from being so happy at one point in the season that we were so many points clear to bam, all of a sudden it's a title race again. It's like that. Yeah. Come on, man. It is Heart Attack FC at the end of the day. But you know, getting up at crazy times. There's been some times where I got to get up at 5:30 in the morning to be able to catch the game at certain times. You know, it is what it is with that. But that's what you put in. That's to like what everybody was saying. Yeah. Whether it's time or money, we put a lot into this team. That's why we want to see this team succeed. That's why it's been a tough season this year because of all the nonsense that's gone on. So, but listen, if we get over the line, we crawl over the line, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. And I will love every second of it. So,
well, full time if we get the 3 points. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
is the painful one.
Listen, if we screw this up, if anything happened to where we screwed this up and we walked away this season with nothing, bro, it's gonna be a long drinking summer to get over this season because this is not, you know, you just don't want to see this again. The word, and I don't think this is said enough. Again, because it's Arsenal. Our standard is not only winning; we demand good football.
Yeah,
this is another reason why it's been a difficult season the last 2 seasons. It hasn't been good football. This is what we want to see. We want to see us playing beautiful football and blowing teams off the park. We don't like seeing this shit. I'm Italian. I don't even want to see some of the catenaccio that we're trying to emulate in Arteta's way. I don't even like it because at least the defensive teams in Italy knew how to let the attackers go and play good football.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, but it has been a difficult watch. So listen, I'm here for it if we get over the line. If we don't get over the line, man, it's going to be a long summer. It's going to be a long freaking summer if we don't get over the line. But I do believe that we're winning the league at this point. I am in full belief that we will be winning the league at this point.
We got to win with G. Just quickly as well. Saying hello to our brother James over there, West Ham fan at each one his own. Vigilante. He has put his link in. Yeah, man. James, it's just one of them things yesterday, innit, bud? You know, it's a bit of sweet, mostly sweet. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously we desperately needed the points. But you know, when the dust sort of settled, you know what I mean? I was like, oh man, and you know, it would be a little bit of a shame if we relegated them. But you know what? Don't help my case for West Ham, and it does for you guys. My old man, he bailed me up because he's obviously West Ham. He bailed me up before the game, giving it the absolute Barry McGuigan, texting me at half time and all of that. When that goal went in, there you go. That's just what happens sometimes when you piss the old man. So yeah, I just blame my old man for that one, James. He absolutely well and truly cost you a draw in that game, mate. It's totally his fault. So you know, 100%. I've already told it to him anyway. I was like, you screwed your own team up, mate. And that's what you get for giving it the Barry all fucking day, Dad. Unlucky, mate. But obviously for fans like you, do you know what I mean? It's a bit shit. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, like you said as well, when one of your other things, chance against Spurs to sod it up. Do you know what I mean? You can trust Spurs to sod it up. And I hope they do for you, bud. Do you know what I mean? I really do, my friend. But DJB, yeah, what do you sort of reckon? You reckon you're going to be able to just about claw your way, drag yourself through the mud, and sort of get over the line here without maybe seeking immediate medical attention from this footballer and making it hard for ourselves, this manager?
It's just been a hard watch for the last two seasons or more, Aaron. Let's be honest. You can count on one hand that you've walked. I always say, how many times have you walked out the Emirates absolutely on cloud nine, buzzing?
Handful in the last two.
There's more games you've walked out the Emirates and gone, have we won that?
Mm-hmm.
What was all that about? Oh, that was crap. The moaning on around, honestly, it's like it's been predictable football, isn't it? You can call it predictable football FC. Oh, God, just got over the line FC, Heart Attack FC. There's so many, honestly, there's so many permutations you can call this football club because that is how it's been. And I'm sorry, I pay my money to go and watch football. And I demand this manager to actually mix it up a little bit. I can take the odd defensive passing sideways U-shaped football in certain games if that's what we've got to do in certain games. But when you're seeing it every single game, I demand more. And it's taken him till May to put Lewis-Skelly in midfield to actually get us on the front foot. It's taken... Let this sink in, right? Look how many games we have played with Zubimendi in midfield. And it has taken him 4 games till the end of the season to realise that Lewis-Skelly is not a left-back, he's a midfield player. This is a guy that's on £15 million a year, that's got his coaching badges, that has worked alongside one of the greatest managers ever to manage in the Premiership in Pep, with Kevin De Bruyne, David Silva, and all this talent on show he has worked with, and it's taken him till May 2026 to realise that Lewis-Skelly is not a left back.
And he only realised it because he's ran his midfield into the ground.
And
that's the funny thing about it.
Exactly. Facts. And we cannot question this manager's ability to manage this football club in certain areas. The fact of the matter is, Saka should be worth 120, 130 million £130 million.
No, worth £13.20.
No one in the chat can tell me with their hand on their heart how much he's worth. He's not worth that. Martinelli should be levels. He has played enough football at Arsenal Football Club under this manager to be absolutely wanted by every single football team in the Premier League and across Europe. The fact of the matter is we're going to struggle even to sell him and get him out the door.
Copy and paste plenty of other players.
These are the things you have to look at. You've got to look at the players that have been at this football club and what can we now sell them for? Yep. We have had Emil Smith-Rowe gone out. Lewis-Skelly was linked with Man United. And let's be honest, he's still linked with Man United. We don't know if he's going to be here next year. This guy has not played enough football. This guy has put him. I swear, I say this, and I said this to Shane. The only reason why this guy has got game time is to put his cost. If teams want to buy him now, he's just gone up another 20 million. If we'd have sold him under the current state that Skelly, under the current games that Skelly's played, you'd be lucky to get 25, 30 million for him.
Yeah. Then you got a minus 25% on Arsenal bad seller tax, didn't you? You know what I mean?
Now you'll probably get 50 million for him because of his recent performances and what other teams have seen him do. You'd probably get 50 million for him. So don't be surprised. He's not been. Bert has probably said, "Look, these are the players that we're earmarked to sell." Because whether you like it or not, we have to sell players from this football club next season. If we're going to raise the bar and we're going to defend our title, hopefully, we need to raise the bar. And the only way we can raise the bar is to get rid of all the dead wood and all the players that have fallen off the end of a cliff under this manager. That's the only way. That's the only way. If we're going to be linked with all these great players across Europe, why don't we go and get Kvaratskhelia? Why don't we go and get Doué? Why don't we go and get this one? You honestly think they're leaving a manager like Luis Enrique at PSG to come to Arsenal to track back and defend? Can you imagine Kvaratskhelia under this manager, Arteta? What he would have to do?
Yeah. Well, it sends that sort of message, doesn't it?
He would take every single ounce of talent out of him. And look, and whether you like it or not, whether we win the league, doesn't matter what we win. You have to look at the facts. Look at the players where the talent has been taken out of. And he's not. And what I'm saying is, and I'll end on this. Big up James that's in the chat. Right? Yeah. I'll end on this, right? If you think by us winning the Premier League and potential Champions League, this manager is going to change the way he plays and players are going to improve under him in attacking positions, you're living on a different planet, because it's going to be as much what you've been seeing the last 2 years, you will see again next season. And I keep saying it, enjoy this season, whatever we win, because you're going to have a real barren spell for the next 3 years.
Yeah, and you say that, and you can say that with confidence because you've said it 3 years on the trot. And that's why, isn't it? You know, I always say a bit of Bill Murray and all of that. Do you know what I mean?
Not only that, you have a World Cup.
I love you, babe.
Not only that, bro, but you have a World Cup. You have an even shorter time frame this year for these players to get rest and go again next year. This is this is why it's an even bigger summer window for us. You have to get the deadwood out. Listen, MLS and Wanyeri should both be staying. These links for Wanyeri to go to Chelsea should be absolutely shut down. You need these young legs to be able to make a run again next year. Again, as we've all said, winning a trophy or possibly two this year does not mean take your foot off the gas and, it's just we get drunk on one trophy. No.
Raise it.
You need to keep going and win more trophies. And in order to do that, with all these players that have been ran into the ground, now you have a World Cup coming up where the players that are already suspected of having injuries could potentially get injured with a summer with way less time to rebuild their stamina and everything else. You need these young legs to be able to go next year. These two kids cannot be sold at all.
I agree with you. And just quickly to chip in on that, and then we'll get James's take on the West Ham and the penalties. We spoke about that, so I'm keen to get James's. I'm probably fairly, so I don't know the avenue you're going to go down. We'll get to that in a second. But
Spurs was robbed, Aaron. They should have had a penalty.
Fuck Spurs. Who cares about them?
You bastards, isn't it? Yeah. But just quickly before we come to James, with the transfers is another little thing that we found ourselves in again is, and we've said this a million times. Jesus, I've said this too many times. We've handcuffed ourselves and left ourselves in such a poor scenario in that the players we want to get rid of. I mean, we've already down in terms of negotiation, not in terms of the expected value we think we'll get. We actually absolutely won't. The wages are probably 4 times their worth minimum. Absolute minimum. And if you're in from a negotiating standpoint and you've got a World Cup like Gianni said, and let's just say 4 names off the bat: Martinelli, Havertz, Martin Odegaard, and let's just throw in Ben White in there. Everyone knows that you want to get rid of them. Everyone, and they're like, all right, cool. Well, don't worry, we'll wait till after the World Cup then. Like, we've just left ourselves in such a poor negotiation standpoint. Because our players are on astronomical wages yet again, and it's just the same cycle with different regimes and different things. How we've allowed it to get to the same again is ridiculous, and we're going to be here the same again with the Calafiores when their contract starts and the Sakas and everything like that. We're going to be stuck with these players, and then it's just going to be a new thing in 5 years' time. It's not good. But But yeah, no, we'll get James in here, man. One, thank you very much for coming on.
No worries, mate.
And two, yeah, obviously, it is what it is. Unfortunately, for rival sort of like fans, going through yesterday, we had to get a win. You had to get a win. We did on the night, but it weren't without its controversy, shall we say, James? You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie, mate. My heart weren't just down here. I'm sure it rolled out into the floor somewhere. It was just gone. My stomach fell out. My ass fell out. Just everything, mate. And then and we were rescued. Talk us through that, man. You must have thought you'd got it back.
Well, when people think they're just going to go through as 4s and 5s, this is West Ham United. We'll make it fucking halfies. Do you know what I mean? So, it is what it is. Right, let me assess the game. I knew exactly what Nuno was going to do. Going for it at the back. I knew he was going to let Arsenal come on to him, push him wide and things like that. It was working. What we was doing was working. And basically, when Arsenal were going long through Raya, it was benefiting us because obviously Gyökeres couldn't deal with 3 centre halves who are sort of in form at the minute. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When we got to half time, I was happy. I was really happy. I thought, you know what, West Ham are doing exactly what I want them to do. They're gonna wait to the last 20 minutes and they're gonna try and hit Arsenal on the break when Arsenal start getting a bit flustered. Yeah. The goal from Hughes is a very good goal. It was well worked. And I think it was just that the subs he was bringing on, right, was benefiting Hughes because of the energy. West Ham were fucked at the end, right towards the end, and you could see it. Juve was out of position on a few occasions. The goal goes in for Hughes, and I'm thinking, you know what? That's it now, right? We'll just have to wait. We'll just have to see this one out and just take it. I will get to the incident. The fucking incident because it's a big one, yeah. But there's so much that I want to speak about from an Arsenal perspective. Declan Rice going right back. I don't think I've ever seen that before in my fucking life, right? Why he's putting him right back, I don't know.
Sadly, we'll see it again.
Yeah, and Zubimendi being subbed on and subbed off, I think that was a bit strong, but these people don't in their head. But yeah, listen, 1-0 up, going into the last few minutes of the game, right? We actually played all right against Arsenal. We was pushing Arsenal back in stages. Now, let's get to the incident. On my opinion, and I've been having rows with Arsenal fans all day about this. I was telling around with someone in the pub about it, for fuck's sake. I feel that if point of contact, it's a foul 1,000%. Yeah, as soon as that ball comes in, and it's point of contact, it's a foul on row. What I've got a problem with is once that ball is kicked from Bowen, there's fouls everywhere in that box. That's the thing where there's got to be a balance there, because for instance, if Mavropanos goes down for Declan Rice's challenge and Arsenal give away a penalty, but Raya's fouled, it's not fair. Yeah, because there's so much that's happening in that box in that time. For me, when the goal goes in, I don't think VAR should get involved, in my honest opinion, right? It's a foul on Raya, but I think there's so much that leads up to that foul on Raya in that instance, right? For me, personally, where it affects Raya's positioning and it affects Raya, and Raya is then fouled. Like, my attitude towards this, before I let any of you land, if you think I'm wrong and we have a discussion about it, is that for me, once that ball is kicked from Bowen, everyone is active in that box. I mean, everyone. So that's like players running off each other, smashing into people being dragged to the ground. That's where I look at it. I don't look at it that first contact is Raya, and Raya's the only one, and it goes to him. That's where I've been having round with people all day. It's a foul, but it's a grey area there where you can look at it like that. For me,
I can see where you're coming from. Definitely with that. The fouls. It's obviously it is a foul. Once you see it, I didn't actually think it was at first. I didn't even notice it at first. I was just more praying that it didn't go across the line from the initial angle. Do you know what I mean?
Well, let me put it this way, dear Aaron. Yeah. Right, once that ball comes in, Mavropanos is being held by Deck. Right, it's fucking blatant. Right, he's literally rugby tackling the geezer. The one that I've got a major problem with is Trossard, because Trossard doesn't even look at where the ball is. Yeah, and Pablo goes off him. Pablo beats him for sort of aggression, and then sort of Trossard's chasing him, and then pushes him into the sort of fucking all the pack. And that was an old school goal. Anyone who's been watching football for years, like Normski and DJB, me, like, all of us, that was a Barclays era goal. Do you know what I'm saying? When the balls used to come in, everyone's getting up, fucking like pushing, shoving, elbows, everything, yeah. And I feel like there wasn't enough there for VAR to. It took 5 minutes and 17 replays to do that, and I think that's just not right for me, in my opinion.
I can also get that before someone else comes in quickly. Like, was it enough to be called as clear and obvious? That's also another argument I'd contest on your side because you know that if you have to go into something 17 times, is it clear and obvious? Do you know what I mean? Yes, it's one of them things. There's so many little weird areas around things. I obviously, as an Arsenal fan, I'm happy with it, and I'm going, you know what? Yeah, it is a foul and this and that. I would be analysing exactly the same as you, James, if it was vice versa.
I'll just look at it like this, right? I look at it like this before anyone else wants to land you. Yeah. That's up the other end, and that's our goalkeeper who gets fouled. But Arsenal players being fouled left, right, and centre in the box. There's got to be a balance. That's the only thing I will say. There has to be a balance with it, because what it is, if the referee gives a penalty, it's a foul on Raya. If he gives a foul on Raya, there's at least two fucking. Well, the Mavropanos, literally Declan Rice is pulling him to the ground near enough. Do you know what I mean? He's literally got him round. Yeah. He's got his hands actually clenched to him, and where Mav's a bit of a lump and he's a bit of a fucking boy, he can sort of get past Deck. Like Deck's a good footballer, but he's not a fucking rugby player like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you know, but I just thought it was just wrong. I done my video last night. I sort of lost it on there. I feel like in that situation, when that goal goes in, that's a historic moment there, and it's sort of they've got involved in something that they didn't need to get involved with. If I'm being honest, do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, what I would say on it is, if you look back over this season, just take this season, forget last season. If you look back over this season, every game you've seen from corners, there's been pulling, pushing, shoving, holding shirts, arm across bodies, people going in on the goalkeepers, and nothing's been given. Mm-hmm. Now, my opinion, and I said this when I was live, if you are gonna pick one incident from that corner, then you've got to look at all the phases, just like you do when a goal's scored. Yeah. Was there contact? Was it offside? Is it a goal? When that corner comes in, you've got to look at all the phases. Before Raya was fouled, was there any other incidents on that corner? Yes. Declan Rice on Mavropanos was the obvious one, right? So if you were going to go through phases when a goal is scored, you've got to go through the phases when that decision is made on David Raya. Now, if you isolate the David Raya incident, it probably is a foul because one's got his arm, he's not only got his arm across his throat, he's also holding his wrist, right? I ain't got a problem with that. The problem I've got is that you've got to look at the whole picture, and every single corner that's been taken throughout the Premier League, you've seen worse than that. You've seen pulling, shoving. You've seen defenders wrestled to the ground and the goal's been given. You've seen attackers wrestled to the ground and it hasn't even gone to VAR for a penalty. So it's been going on all season. Yeah. And no one's really clamped it. But on that one incident, they come down hard on it. And I thought it was a little bit unfair on West Ham on that occasion. To be honest,
the only thing I say, DJB,
it's inconsistent.
Right, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. Yeah, my issue is if it's point of contact. So the ball comes. Like if the rules stated that once that ball is contacted with a player and the player gets fouled, that's fine. I can accept that straight away. But the problem is with the rule. Once that corner kick is taken and that it's air ball. Everyone's active in that box.
Exactly. So that's what I said. Yeah. You've got to, how can you then not see the Declan Rice one? One other thing I would say on it is if the arm hadn't have been across his chest, would Raya have been in complete control of that situation? Would he have come out and caught it? I don't think he was. I think he was falling backwards. I don't think he was anywhere near of catching that ball.
Yeah, I agree on that.
Facts.
Yeah, he wasn't.
It's one of them though, where they've looked at it. There's no guarantees that he wouldn't. So the foul's still impeding, then, isn't it? It's to a degree, regardless.
It's been going on. Yeah, it's been going on for years, Aaron. I mean, even during the 70s when I used to watch football, an attacker would jump up with a goalkeeper. the goalkeeper would come out and clatter the attacker.
And you'll get the benefit
on
of
the
it.
floor, and the goalkeeper would get the benefit of the doubt. It's a foul on the keeper. So just because it's the goalkeeper, he's got the benefit of the doubt. If that had been a defender going up to head the ball with the arm across him,
Yeah.
the goal would have been given. I'll guarantee you the goal would have been given. It's just because it's the goalkeeper, and it was that going back over the years where the goalkeeper gets the protection like he used to get. It's that goalie protection. Once the goalkeeper was fouled, everything else before that they've ignored, and that to me was wrong. They should have looked at they should have looked at all the phases of play, because if they'd have looked at the Declan Rice dragging Mavropanos down, it'd have been a penalty. If Mavropanos had been a goalkeeper, that'd have been a penalty.
Yeah,
trust me. It's the fact that it's a foul on the goalkeeper. It's been highlighted more.
The only thing I'll say, all right, before any of the lads want to speak, is the thing is it's just the consistency of it. That's the problem. And what it was, they turned around and said it on like with VAR. They would have, if it ain't Raya, it's Mavropanos. But there's so much what's happening in that box. Like there's about 6-7 fouls happening all at once.
Every week, though, James. You've seen it every week. Arsenal have been brilliant at it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's why the timing of it and the fact that I think what a lot of people are disputing is the fact if you look at it in isolation, it is a foul on Raya, but while she was talking about it, James, I was watching it on TV, and when the balls come in, everybody's grappling with each other. Declan Rice has got his arms around Mavropanos, and at that point, he's got his arm. He's now moving towards the goal to get in a position so that if for any point, if my guy misses the ball, Mavropanos is on the end of it, and then that could be called as a penalty. But then they've looked at the and they said they had to look at it in phases. Now they said it. Listening to ref watch, they were saying that actually the first foul that was committed was on Raya, when it actually wasn't. If you look, when the balls come in, what's his name? He's got his arms around Mavropanos, and then you've got Trossard doing something. Everybody's grappling with each other. Now Arsenal are famous for this. We had a goal, and it's ironic because I think it was Ben White was holding. I think it was a Leicester game. Ben White was holding the keeper's hand. Right, they didn't see it. Lovely goal from Trossard, and then VAR got involved because they gave the goal. VAR got involved, and they said no. Ben White was holding the guy, so the goal was disallowed. So in that instant, it wasn't as much. The grappling wasn't as much, but Ben White was doing the old dark arts thing. You know what I mean? No one saw it, so I didn't see it. It's only the VAR that had a look, and they've re-refereed it and said, no, you need to go and look at it. You've probably missed it.
I do agree with what you're saying. But the only problem is with that's one incident with Ben White, In that situation, there's 6 fouls happening.
I hear you. That's what I'm saying.
The
thing, you know what? It's just for me. I think it was Shane was saying on his show, or whatever, or it was on Views. I can't remember. After they're saying when all of that is going on, just blow the whistle and blow the whistle. So when the ball's in, everybody's grappling. Just blow the whistle, go right, retake it again. But I think they're gonna have to think of some way or somehow where they don't allow all of that stuff that's going on, because it's very.
I think the only way they could deal with that is point of contact. So when the ball comes in, as soon as it hits the first man, that first man is fouled, then it's a foul. Because at the minute, and this is where a lot of West Ham fans have got the raving up about it, is because it ain't first a point of contact. It's basically, you've seen it sort of throughout the season. When a ball goes in, how many times has someone run off someone and then been dragged to the ground and they give a penalty? And it hasn't even got to that man. Do you know what I mean? And that's where the line is. For me personally, I think VAR got involved in something they didn't need to get involved in. Like the referee didn't deem anything as a foul. He's on the pitch. They've got involved. They've pulled something, and the moment he went to the screen, he was never going to be allowed because the referee never goes against VAR. Do you know what I mean? So,
do you think as well, though? And this is also wrong what I'm saying now, because I agree with you. Technically, that's not there to re-referee every single decision. Do you reckon they definitely got involved because of the stakes for both teams?
100%.
That's why they were like, they wanted to just get their beaks in there, and whether it be rightly or wrongly, you know, I think because of the magnitude of it, you know,
if that's
really upsetting someone, you know,
if that's 25 minutes into the game, do you reckon it's that bad?
Yeah, of course we all question it, but you're right. Yeah.
It's like it's a 96 minute. It's the 96 minute where we're fighting for our fucking lives. Yous are fighting for the title. Yous are in control of the situation, right? And the moment that goal goes in, that's like relief for us because we've got something out the game against yous, which is like a bonus. Yeah. And let's have it right. Before the game, I said to DJ Bree the other day, I wasn't expecting us to get a good hiding because I knew what was coming. I knew West Ham was set up in a low block and be hard to beat. Yeah. And one thing with us, when we set up in a low block, we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
The issue I've got is that once that goal goes in, then someone else is getting involved in something when there's other incidents happening. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and listen, it is a foul on Raya. Raya is fouled, and he does go up and he is fouled. But I think there's so much happening in that box, and I feel like you're re-refereeing the game for the ref when there's other incidents going on there. And there's two ways of looking at it before I let someone else land. Yeah, is that where's the line in what is a foul and what isn't a foul? That's the $1 million question. Like how long does Mavropanos have to hold on, right, or shrug off Declan Rice and
before it's deemed,
and that's where the line is for me. Do you know what I'm saying? And there's no line with it there at all.
Well, I was just before Gianni comes in. I mean, we've seen cases, as DJ rightly said, in this season and last season, where literally players are being flung to the ground, literally flung to the ground, and nothing is given. Yeah, and so
as soon as
that's
it's goalkeeper norms, it gets flagged. This is what I'm trying to say.
But that's where I'm going to disagree, because not to sound like a negative Arsenal fan, but go back and watch the goal that Gabriel Magalhaes scored against Aston Villa in the home game. Magalhaes is going like this to Emi Martinez while he's going up. There's a still shot of it where Magalhaes is preventing Emi Martinez from getting the ball, and we go up 1-0 against Aston Villa. So that is, I'll send you the picture, Aaron. I got it on my Instagram.
Oh, all right. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, sweet.
But it's when you look at the foul from what we're saying here, that's exactly what it is. It's the consistency across the board from the referees. If you're going to call it 1 week, then make it the same across the board. So it's not just, okay, it happened this time, but now we're going to go and not allow it here, but then we allow it again over here. That's where I have the issue across the board with it, is that if you're going to allow it at certain points, then it has to go. Aaron, I just sent it to you. It's going to be the second picture in that slide. You'll see the where Magalhaes is going up with his elbow against Martinez and preventing him from getting the ball. But that's my point with this whole thing. I thought that, like here, when you watch like American football, when you see something like that, they'll stop the play and then call a penalty against the team that's causing the penalty if it's interrupted in a part of the play that's leading to what ends up happening. And that's what I thought was going to end up happening. Because like you said, if Raya goes up, if he's not being fouled and misses the ball, it has to be a penalty then, because Rice is already dragging Mavropanos down, and he's the guy that's right there that should be putting the ball in the back of the net if Raya misses, because he's on the back post. So for me, it's just, the problem is the refereeing decisions for the last 2 years, and possibly even longer, have just been bad all around the board. There's been no consistency. No. One game you see something like that where they say, yeah, it's a foul, but then the next game there's no call and everybody's throwing their hands up in the air like, wait a minute, we just saw this a week ago and this was said to not be a foul. Why are we doing this here? So that's what it comes down to, is the consistency.
Yeah. And do you know what? Is the consistency is the word, the probably the only word that stays consistent throughout the whole of VAR. That's mainly, you know, we all knew when it first came in there's going to be teething issues, this and that, but we didn't think it was going to be this bad for this long. And it's because they are inconsistent, because they are not consistent enough. And do you know what? When you was talking about that, do you know what it reminded me of? Remember when they implemented or tried to harsh up on, you know, when you kick the ball away. Or 1 week you're allowed to boot it 40 yards away, and then Declan Rice gets sent off for tapping it a millimetre. What one is it? Do you know, just be consistent.
One thing I will say, right, because I know Ray's is in the chat. Just said I look at you, son. I mean, there's no tears from me, son. Don't you worry about that. I'll put you straight. Right. West Ham, if West Ham do go down, yeah, we ain't going to go down because of that fucking incident. I know that for certain because there's been other games where we've let go and we've lost. The issue is for me is consistency. That's the problem.
The second one on that, the second one.
Right, and that's the problem. Like, there has to be more consistent sort of refereeing, and I feel like you don't get involved in the situation like that. It's like, for instance, like let's go back to 2012 when Aguero scored that amazing goal at the end. Do you know what I mean? And scored that goal, which is always going to be remembered. Like, you're stopping moments there. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, right, it doesn't really matter now because he's gone, right? But last night, yeah, it wasn't fucking good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think just quickly on this picture, Sky Michael, I heard his interview,
go Noms.
and he said, like, he was looking at, I mean, the whole incident, what he's essentially saying that this has been happening all the time, so it shouldn't really essentially be given, you know what I mean? And Arsenal would never have got where they are this far because of what they've been doing over the last season. But he looked at the Raya incident, and he was even saying that wasn't a foul. So sometimes I don't know if he's got hatred for Arsenal or not, or what, but he was actually saying that he doesn't think it's even a foul on Raya. Raya should do better. Do you know what I mean? You could clearly see that Pablo's got his arm, and then the other guy, I think it's Tadebo's pulling him from behind and that. So in isolation, it is a foul. But as you said, James, lots of stuff is going on.
If that's the one thing, if that's the one incident in that scenario, it's blatant. Do you know what I mean? But there's so much that happens in there. Do you know what I mean? But I'm not going to cry about it. I'm going to.
Can I just say on the Raya, right? He's got both feet on the floor. He's not even in the air. So he's nowhere near that ball if that arm's not across him. He's got both feet on the floor. He's not even jumping for the ball. He's got both feet. He's got both feet on the floor. So this is what I'm trying to say. If that arm weren't across his chest, would he have been in control and grabbed the ball? Now look at this. Now look at this.
And this is the goal.
And that goal is given. And that goal is given.
Yep.
That goal is given. Yep. And listen, you know, brilliant, Gianni, you had that, man. Big up to you, my friend, because this is
there's quite a few of them going around. You've got the Le Mans one with the Man United early start.
This is why we've got channels like this that you haven't got on other Arsenal channels. Yeah, this is why you've got channels like Normski's and Gianni's and mine and Shane's and all of that, because we look at both sides of the coin. We're not tunnel vision just because it's Arsenal. It's a football channel, Razor and all that's in the chat, and this is what we discuss. Yeah, that is given. That's a goal. Now, you tell me that ain't a foul on the goalkeeper. I'm sorry. And this is why we've got to get the consistency right, because of the love of football, not just because we're Arsenal fans. Because I'm telling you now, if that is happening in the World Cup this summer on my England goalkeeper,
you want it.
They score from it. Trust me, I'm up in arms.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm up in arms.
Even if it's the opposite way round on our goalkeeper, if it was an Arsenal goalkeeper and that was happening.
If that's on Raya, I want it ruled out.
Yeah.
Yep. And not only that, let's take it a step further. Why do you think the English teams all got smacked up out of the Champions League outside of us when the Champions League started saying we're not allowing this nonsense anymore on the corners? Yeah. Once they said we're not allowing this BS of blocking keepers and doing all this in the Champions League, magically Chelsea, Spurs, and everybody else got sent home out of the Champions League because they weren't allowing that nonsense anymore. So, you know, that's the thing. If we're going to do it if we're going to make sure that for the betterment of the game in total, it has to be across the board with the consistency. It can't just be that, it's okay here, but not okay over here. That's where this becomes an entirely bigger problem than what it should have been. That's the whole reason why I wanted to point out that the goal by Gabby is very similar, because in any league, if a defender's going up and blocking the goalkeeper with an elbow like that, that's a foul. That's a foul. That's a free kick going the other way.
But look at the difference. Martinez is off the floor. He's in midair, so he's fouled. Raya's got both feet on the floor.
Yep.
He's not in midair. He's in midair, and he's got the arm into the face or chest and everything else, right? Now, if you look through the medley of all of that, look at Rice wrapped his arms and pulling down Mavropanos.
Mhm.
You know, let's get it right and look at Trossard in there. And what is Gabriel doing?
He's grabbing. Yeah.
Come on, man. Look, there is so much going on. There is so much going on with that corner, and I keep going back to it. The only reason why VAR has pulled it up is because it's on the goalkeeper. If Raya is a defender in that situation, if he's Saliba, that goes that's never taken to VAR. I'll guarantee you that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It was a bittersweet moment. Don't get me wrong. Yesterday, because as I said on my my afterthought yesterday, I turned around and said, I know a lot of Arsenal people. Like, I used to live in North London. I used to live off of Crouch End, so I know a lot of people in North London. And listen, I hope that you do get it done. The issue is that like there's got to be an element of fairness, and it just felt like it went the other way. It went like, you know what, we can't give this because of the situation. But you know, it is what it is. Listen, go on, Aaron. I'll let you land.
There is something else as well I wanted to ask, because none of us have actually mentioned it yet, but AJ was the first person that did. I mean, it could be a totally different game if that opportunity would have gone either side of David Raya, or the whole game's entirely different then. I'm then worried, especially considering we hadn't really got to grips with the game since Ben White got injured. We just never really got back. We had mini spells, but nothing, I don't think, that really threatened you in any way.
Yeah.
I reckon if you score and go ahead in that 78th minute, I'm more worried about whether you get the winner than whether we do at that point. If I'm being totally honest.
Yeah. I think the Fernandes chance is a great chance. Don't get me wrong, but I think Raya is the reason why Arsenal are going to potentially win the league, because he's the best goalkeeper in the league. Do you know what I mean?
At the minute, yeah.
If that's anyone else, I think that's in the back of the net, because Fernandes. And I think Raya was in the perfect position. West Ham fans were having a go at him, and I'm like, I don't know about this one. Like, he's got split second timing to sort of get it right, and he's up against a goalkeeper that's right on top of him straight away. And you know what I mean? I was more concerned that why he didn't look Gabriel go sliding in and take one over the top. Do you know what I mean? But you know, it is what it is. And listen, at the end of the day, that was key, because if we do score that goal goes in. Yeah. West Ham sit in a low block and say, right, we want these to come on to us now, and we're going to use on the break. And the moment
I think you win that game. I think you win that game.
I don't know about win it. I think
I do think you will. I don't think because our attack wasn't really. Yeah, the first 20 minutes or so, we hit the post and whatever. But after that, just when everything just kind of went to pot. That's what I'm saying. We couldn't break it down after that. Do you know what I mean? And it just took one moment. You know what I mean? I think, personally speaking, with the pressure as well, I think we would have tried to go for it going, you would hit us on a break, and we probably maybe lose that game.
And you know what? That's what Nuno exactly his plan was. His plan was to, and I said it on E20 in the week to a few people, his plan was to hold Arsenal for as long as possible, try and frustrate them. And in the last sort of 20, 15 minutes, where Arsenal are going to be under pressure to try and win this game, they're going to throw more bodies on to try and get it. And one thing with West Ham, we're not a bad counter-attacking unit. Like, we can get up the pitch pretty quick with some of them Bowen. Do you know what I mean? And it was working. The problem was, it was everything that Arsenal were doing, we was countering. Like, when the Arsenal were going long to Gyökeres, I said, right, that's what we want. It's perfect, because we can deal with Gyökeres. And if you win them second balls, you're going to be laughing. But as I say, the goal that you scored was a fucking good move. Like, as soon as I see it, as it was happening and as it was going out, I was like, yeah, they've got a chance here, and they buried the chance. You know what I mean? So fair play to you, mate. But fuck VAR. That's what.
Norms, I agree with you on that, because the way West Ham were starting to build into that game that led up to that chance, if they score, that's a problem. I mean, listen, you want to talk about how dumb we looked with Rice being at the right back. That Somerville was taking us to school on that left-hand side. He was taking us to school on that left-hand side. And Jared Bowen, as soon as MLS got put to left back, he started getting to the business on the right-hand side as well. I think the biggest problem with West Ham is that they don't have a true number 10 that could be in that middle to aid out with the striker. Because I think if you had another guy in that middle to aid out Castellanos in the beginning and then Wilson coming on, that's a different ball game. Because like we said, as soon as MLS went to the left back side, you saw the center backs getting stretched out wide and the middle was becoming more of a problem for us. Castellanos got his opportunity. If you have more numbers through the middle, I think West Ham it's a different game with that. It's a completely different game in that situation.
Was you surprised about us in regards to how we was? Because I was seeing,
you know what?
No,
you know what I mean?
You know, I didn't. You didn't. Well, he didn't look phased or anything. I thought he was up for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As I say, we had that spell of 20 minutes, and then obviously the injury happened, and then after that, you started to grow into the game, and I just thought, these guys are handling it. Do you know what I mean? You didn't look like you didn't look panicky. I remember when I think I'll go back to the game when you beat second half. It was like game of 2 halves. I can't remember the team. You beat them 4-0 in the end.
Wolves,
I think it was Wolves. It was Wolves, wasn't it? I mean, that game. If that was that West Ham that came out in the first half against Wolves against us, we'd probably beat you. Right?
Yeah.
Because the way he was playing in that game, I was thinking, what are West Ham doing? It's Wolves for crying out loud. Second half, totally different kettle of fish. He came out, literally smacked them, and So for me, I wasn't surprised. I mean, I got my brother-in-law, my nephew. They're big West Ham fans. They go to the games and that.
Yeah.
So,
What it was just like me and DJB discussed it the other day. People thinking 4-0, 5-0. I was like, no, I don't know about this one. Yeah, it's never going to. Because I know this club at the back of my fucking hand, right? One thing with us is when we want to be hard to beat, we can be. So we can be bastards like that.
James, I told you, if you're organised, see, with what people don't realise is with Arsenal, because they're on this crest of the wave that we're the best team in the world because we're going to win a trophy, first one in 20 odd years. If teams are organised against us, our attack has not shown enough this season to blow teams away.
Yeah.
If you've got Bournemouth done it at the Emirates, Man United done it at the Emirates. Mm-hmm. If you get a team that's organised against us defensively, our attack has been so poor, we have struggled. So that didn't surprise me with West Ham. I knew exactly what West Ham were going to do. They were going to make it hard to beat. They weren't going to go toe to toe with us. Great. They weren't going to leave gaps. They were going. They was going to be solid. Yep. Once a team is solid and shows some sort of organisation, we find it really, really difficult to break the lines. Yep. And let me tell you this: Trossard was our most effective striker. Now, Trossard has only come good in the last 3 or 4 games. That's his first goal in 26 matches, people.
It's crazy.
26 matches, and that was his first goal against, all due respect, a relegation West Ham, right? 26 games it's taken him to score a goal. That tells you everything you need to know of how we've been playing this season. We may win a trophy, but I'm telling you now, it's been the most most unattractive Premiership title I've ever seen from Arsenal Football Club.
Yep. Does it worry you? Does it worry you a little bit?
Yeah. Worries me going forward.
If you look at it, if you look at it, throw in on top of what DJB said. If somebody knows how to be tidy against us, we got problems. Again, look at Villa. The 4-1 that we beat Villa is a score line that flatters us because everybody likes to leave out the fact that if it wasn't for the injury to Onana and had Ollie Watkins had his shooting boots on, we're down 2-3 nothing at halftime. The way they were.
Everton, Gianni. Everton, we should have gone in 2-0 down at halftime.
Yep. That's why we're calling. That's why we're asking for the change in the football.
You have to call it out.
It's very simple to. If you can cause problems on the fullbacks, and again, it depends what fullbacks. Hincapié has been our best left back by a country mile this year, and probably has been our best left back for a while since we threw Kieran Tierney away for whatever reason, right? if Hincapié doesn't play, that left-hand side is a problem. If Timber isn't playing, which we haven't seen for a while, the right-hand side is a problem. And again, the counterattack that led to Castellanos' header that was saved by Raya, that's what you see normally, is the middle then becomes a floodgate. And we've seen it so many times. If the fullbacks are having a bad game and another team can flood the middle of the park against us, we struggle all the time. That's why we have a constant problem against Aston Villa. Again, if Ollie Watkins has his shooting boots on, we lose both games to Aston Villa this season. And so many other games as well. It's not just Villa. So that's why it's like what we were saying earlier. We just got to limp over the line at this point and just get over and say, we got it out of the way. We won the league, but it was a tough league to win because we're our own worst enemy. We've seen, all of us have said this since the beginning of the season. The biggest problem to go on and win the league isn't City or Liverpool. It's Arsenal versus Arsenal. That's the biggest problem with us. Is we are our own worst enemy when it comes to trying to go forth and win than these other teams. If we could remove that equation, we could win this league very easily. I don't think that's the wrong thing to say. The problem is the manager tries to get too cute at different times, and it's always the bad time where he tries to get cute.
Do you know what? Yeah, if we had a track record under this manager where he tried something, got it wrong, tried something new, it got better, tried something or added little bits to it and won and done something like that, you'd be a bit more confident going into next season. The problem sort of is whilst I do appreciate that, especially if we win something, he will be here. That's just as simple as that. You just got to accept that. That's just going to be a fact. My problem is what you're saying is, Gianni, is we're just going to be watching the same old crap. There's nothing about it to suggest that, let's just say we win the Premier League and just the Premier League. So going into the Premier League next week, another 38-game marathon, I'm not convinced that he's going to go, right, cool, well, look, we've got the first one in over the line now. You know, that's done and dusted. We can all breathe a little easier. Now we're going to play a little bit more expansive. I've got no track record of him doing that. And not just in what we've seen, but every little part of him, you just don't see that little bit in him where he can go, right, now let's get better. Let's get better. He's got his ways, and that's as simple as that. You know, I always sort of like,
and he fights against it.
Big up the views. What's that?
He fights against it. He fights against
massively.
Just really quick before you go forward, just go back and look at the City game. He took Eze off, not because Eze wasn't having a bad game. It's because Eze wasn't listening. If you look at Eze in the game against City, Eze was playing a left-sided 10 rather than being a touchline winger. The fact that Eze, and again, to like what you just said with track record, Aubameyang was playing left wing against Villarreal when we tried a false 9 with Smith Rowe in the first game. Aubameyang hits the post the second game. He's our best forward-thinking player, but because he wasn't listening, he took him off and brought Willian on. Magically, years later, you have a situation with City where we're trying to go ahead and take the lead. Eze is our best creator and goal threat in that game. He's saying, screw this touchline winger shit and playing defense. We need somebody with more balls going forward to try to get this winning goal. He says, I'm going to play the left side 10, hits the post. What ends up happening? Eze, hit the post. Yeah, you're the best player going forward. Let's take you out because we got to play my way. That's the problem.
It's a lot. It's over himself or what makes him look better. I genuinely believe that. I genuinely believe that. There is that. I'm not saying he's totally all for himself and not for Arsenal. I'm not saying that. But I reckon when he's on that managerial thing, he has them little thoughts constantly. What makes me? What will be actually better for me here? I 100% believe that. Whilst I can't prove it, that's
Aaron,
what I just honestly think.
100%.
I'm just going DJ, I just want to say this quickly, yeah? Right, I'm just going to duck out, yeah? I appreciate coming on, right?
Big up, James.
Good luck.
You got a lifeline, James. You got a lifeline.
Yeah,
right.
Listen.
James,
you better win the fucking league now, lads. I know.
James,
you fucking don't. I mean it. Go on.
James, before you go, what did I say the Leeds and Spurs result would be?
I know, mate. I know. Yeah, mate. Yeah, why are the lads? That's where we're going next. And then the tsunami. You know what I mean? Right, take it easy. All the best to you, yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
Take it easy, man.
Appreciate it.
Big up, James.
Yeah, big up to James. Come on, man. I'm trying to find his link. It's been put in loads of times. It's just a little bit far down the chat. Yeah, come on, go over there and like and subscribe to James, man. He knows his stuff, and what a great geezer he is, as you've all just seen.
But
Sorry, what you going to say there, Jay?
To tie on to what you were saying with how he has to win it his way. This is why we're saying, come next season, you can't do this shit again.
No, you can't.
We've already.
It's going to change.
But he will, Gianni.
You that's the problem, DJ, because again,
we know it.
If you try the same thing, you don't rotate players, you run guys into the ground, you get cold bodies in there that then have to pick up form on the fly against teams that are either playing well or not. Stupid stuff happens in sport all the times where stuff cannot go your way. Again, this season, we've been lucky that everything has gone our way and we are in the position that we are in. There are plenty of decisions that could have derailed us to where we're the ones looking up at City. So you have to, there does need to be a little give. There needs to be a lot of give here from the manager to play differently. Again, as sad as it is, he's only learning that everybody else was right about Miles Lewis-Skelly because he's ran everybody into the ground. Zubamendi, again, hail to DJB. He's been saying it since match day 5. He ain't ready for this. We've all been saying it. If after match day 5, when he was getting ran over in the middle, we all said Rice cannot go forward. He needs to be right next to him to protect him.
Yep.
Skelly, the difference is Skelly allows Rice to be better at his position, and Skelly can carry the ball forward to make our offense more copacetic. That has to be the way. If we get over the line, the next year he says, well, we did this to get over the line. Now we're going back to my way. Well, you just ran a bunch of guys into the ground, got a shorter season, got a shorter off season for everybody. You're talking about a big 180 could potentially happen next year if you're running guys into the ground, shorter time to recover. And now we're going into next season trying the same old stuff because we can't keep doing this nonsense. Havertz is no longer a discussion. All them guys that were saying, oh, Havertz should be starting the rest of the season over Gyökeres, look where you're at now trying to believe that. All those that were trying to say, oh, Odegaard this, Odegaard that. Listen, a blind squirrel found a nut that he got that assist for Trossard. That's what happened with that. Because outside of that assist, Odegaard should never wear the badge of this club ever again.
And the thing about it, he's not consistent as well because everybody said, "Oh, you know, this is why Odegaard is the captain, and these are the moments that he gives you." But it's not consistent enough. If Odegaard is a talented player, but he's not consistent enough to do it week in, week out. And obviously, this season he's been injured quite a lot. But even when he wasn't injured, he just wasn't producing. Yeah, he's not captain material for a start. So you know, with all the combination of you put all of that together. And it doesn't make you a good captain. So why he consists? Why he proceeds to go with it? I don't know. And just the other thing. Sorry, just finish there. With Miles Lewis-Skelly, you had a solution there with Miles Lewis-Skelly, and you decide not to play him. As DJ said, you wait until the 4th game or whatever it is. That's when you decide that you're going to play him. I mean. And then you wonder why Zubamendi ain't performing, right? But, you know, because the guy has played over 3,000 minutes. Norgard, a sensible buy, 56 minutes in the Premier League. Yeah, what we're doing here, and this is why it all comes back to Arteta trying to be clever, and you ain't clever. Do you know what I mean? Because it's all about him. We talked about him from the very offset of this guy coming in. He's the protagonist. It's about him. Everything revolves about him. In the press conferences. It's just they ask him all the stupidest questions that you can ever think of. He's not challenged, and he's not accountable. He doesn't give anything. He just does his own thing. And unfortunately, when you look at it, he runs this club. You got to say he runs this club, and that is a sad state of affairs that we're in.
Just quickly.
Mutant
Sorry.
alert. Mutant alert. Mutant alert. Mutant alert.
They're out, aren't they? They are out.
Yeah.
Johnny, I know you were getting ready to talk there as well. I just wanted to let you know you ain't got a fucking clue, mate, and you're a fucking shambles. Sorry, bud. You know, I just had to say.
Again, spin it round, Knowles, and you made a good point about Zubamendi and Gianni, right? Odegaard, Bruno Fernandes, Man United. Walks into this Arsenal team over Odegaard all day long.
Oh, yeah, that's not even a conversation.
All day long. Odegaard should be our Bruno Fernandes. He's worked alongside this manager for, 4 years now, 4 seasons? He's been under this manager.
I mean, you had the loan and the half a loan.
5 years,
you know,
right?
Yeah, I'd say knocking on.
Odegaard should be. This when people say things, think. These players should not be replaceable. Odegaard should be our Bruno Fernandes. Saka should be our Elise or our. Do you know what I mean? Lamine Yamal, right? These are the levels when you've worked under a manager for this long. When players worked under Wenger, Henry improved every single season. Bergkamp improved every single season. Pires improved every single season. Look at Lundberg under this manager. Ray Parlour under this manager.
Bergkamp.
Gilberto Silva. All of these men, right? What I'm trying to say is, name one player you wouldn't have from Manchester City in our forward line. I'm having Semenyo all day long.
Yeah. And the subs.
Cherokee.
You know Cherokee. I'm having Cherokee all day long. I'm having Bruno Fernandes all day long. I'm having Jared Bowen over Noni Madueke all day long. So this is what I'm trying to say. Look at the bigger picture. No, Saliba and Gabriel I'm not replacing. Timber I'm not replacing. David Raya I'm not replacing. Declan Rice I'm not replacing. Funny enough, without those players, we ain't winning the league.
Nope.
We ain't winning the league. When Declan Rice went right back, we had no midfield. Skelly in it or not, we had no midfield. It had gone to the point when Saliba had the ball, he didn't have a clue who to pass to because there was no Declan Rice in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
So
this is where we are. This is where we are. And you're caught. Yeah, we may be champions, but you've got to think outside the box. You've got to look at the bigger picture. Bruno Fernandes has got probably Player of the Year in the Premiership for a reason. That should be Odegaard. But this manager has not been able to do that. Declan, this is what I'm saying. So let's not get carried away. Yes, we're going to win the league. Yes, we're going to be gassed. Yes, it's brilliant. But there's still a lot of cracks being papered over it. Let's be honest, going forward.
When was the last time you've seen a team that's going to go on and potentially win the league and none of their attacking players are going to be in Team of the Year?
Exactly.
That's the biggest
Thiago, look at Thiago.
Yeah. And not only that, again, because of the manager getting rid of the youth, you still got players that we've let go that could walk back into this. Listen, when Saka went down, Ethan Nwaneri would have walked into that right wing position over Noni Madueke. And even he's had his troubles at Fulham. Yes, he hasn't been as consistent, but I would trust Emil Smith-Rowe a hell of a lot more in that number 10 position than Martin Odegaard would have, or even Havertz. So it's the player personnel and everything else needs to change immediately, especially going forward. You're 100% right. Defensively, we're good. But again, this is now a game where you need to be putting in goals. And if we try this same nonsense next year, you're going to be you're risking even more.
I think our defense of the league will be worse than us. Liverpool.
Look at Bournemouth. But let's put this in perspective. 10, 12 years ago, I was watching Bournemouth non-league, and I was watching them down in League Two. They're on the verge of making Champions League under Areola. With a capacity crowd of 25,000 spectators. Bournemouth.
I thought it was smaller than that. Is it?
I thought it was 18, or something.
It might be 18,
or 19, right? I must say,
They lost Semenyo, their best player. Lost them to Man City as early as January, and they are on the cusp of making Champions League. Now, people talk about Arteta being an elite manager. Where would Bournemouth be if Arteta was in charge of them?
Oh, they'd be screwed. They'd be screwed. If you look at
because he wouldn't have that backing that he desperately needs to produce mediocrity. Other clubs, smaller clubs like that, if he don't get what he needs, let's just say for argument's sake he wouldn't, he'd have him relegated. That's or going towards that direction.
The thing is, he's had all these toys now. So there's no excuse. He's had all these toys. Unfortunately, he's broken all these toys. What? So he's had all these toys. In the words of Shane, he's broken these toys.
Yeah.
So he's been given the toys, and you know these sport kids in it. Yeah, they start smashing the cars up. You know what I mean? I just spent how much money on that Matchbox car? It's a collector's item. Who cares? Yeah, that's Arteta for you. Smash them to bits. And that's what he's done. That's why we got players smashed to bits that can hardly run. Yeah. Declan Rice. How that guy, he's going to need the longest rest. And the problem is, as somebody said, we've got a World Cup year. I think Gianni said we've got a World Cup year. Where are these guys going to get rest? They're not going to come back and have a pre-season, because what will happen is when the pre-season starts and they're off in America doing their stuff in America, the likes of Saka, the likes of Rice, those key players, Saliba, Gabriel, they're going to say they're going to need all the time off they can get. They're not going to have a really proper pre-season. And that's where it's going to get worrying, because Arteta does not rotate the side as he should.
And Norms, to that point, what if those guys go down for the first 3-4 months with a massive injury walking in the next season? We're lucky if we're in a top four battle. You need one of those quote unquote another war chest of another quarter billion of pounds in one transfer season to potentially even try to put a team together.
That's right.
That's going to keep you in contention for a title at that point. Again, Declan Rice, the sad thing is, the only hope for him is that he gets through the season without a massive injury. And Thomas Tuchel, who is very well known to be a fitness manager, doesn't allow him to play because of the injuries. That's the only thing. But again, then we're just talking about a bigger snowball of problems, because then your next snowball is, well, this manager is costing guys to be able to play and represent their country in a World Cup. Then your conversation starts to go down the path of, well, do these star players want to stay here? Yes, they're making boatloads of money for Arsenal, but the pinnacle of football is the World Cup, especially for the big countries. You want to represent your country. What happens if come this World Cup, we still know Saliba has not been healthy since the third game of the season? You think Saliba, what happens if Saliba...
But he ain't been injured, has he? No way.
No, he hasn't been fit. But again, what happens if Saliba gets into a collision in one of the World Cup games with France, and now he's shot? Gabriel Magalhaes, same thing. I mean, we talked about Gabriel Magalhaes was rushed back to the beginning of the season in the first place. He wasn't even supposed to be ready for the first month, if we all remember.
Flung straight into Old Trafford, with like, what was it, 180 minutes, not even that, I think.
But then you're talking Saka. You're now talking a bunch of different players. Again, imagine a world where we're walking into the beginning of the season and Zubimendi has to be your starting six because Rice may be out for the first 2-3 months because he wasn't rotated the whole year.
We're finished.
Right? You could be looking at a situation where Saka could be injured at the World Cup and Rice could be injured at the World Cup. You're walking into next year being the defending Premier League champions, and you got Zubimendi as your starting six and Noni Madueke as your starting right wing. It's the same shit all over again. That's what we're saying here. This is why this stuff has to change as far as rotation with players. That's all it is at the end. Again, I still can't find Norgard. Has he even played a full 90 minutes in the Premier League yet?
No, we haven't.
I mean, this is where this nonsense has to be called out. Right. Yes, we're going to go on and win the league. But again, the difference between good and great is in the details. The details still don't look that good as far as the long-term thing. Like what Normski and DJB said, it's long-term. It's not just, let's get over the immediate and be cool. We want Arsenal to go on a period of dominance. We want more trophies. This is not just, let's win the league and we finally won and now we're going to let Man City and Liverpool come back and they're going to go off and win more trophies. Exactly. No. To kickstart at least another 3, 4, 5 trophies in the immediate future coming to this club. Not just, we won, hit the gas, hit the brakes. Let's be okay with just being champions for a season, and we'll talk about this season next season. No, we can't do that. We can't do that.
Gee, do you know what as well, bud? It's them little fine details that we're moaning and crying about are the things that would get us sustained success. That's what makes me laugh when people are like, all you're doing is moaning. Well, we're not really moaning for a start. We're just talking about things that have been factual based over the last couple of match days or whatever. But with regarding to that, I mean, of course, yeah, we know what's going to take us to the next level would be to, let's just say we only get a Premier League this year. Why not maybe win a Champions League next year? Why not maybe win a Premier League and a domestic cup? Why not do this and all of that? All of a sudden, then you're looking at a different manager who's winning things over the years now, who's collectively doing some things. Then you start looking at things differently. However, to get to that point, because you can have all of these morons talking about quadruples and invincibles and everything like that all you want until the cow comes home. That's not support. That's just blind faith. That's just all that is. Yep. The real support is noticing them little differences. So we haven't dominated this year. We've somehow allowed this Premier League at this stage to even be a competition. It shouldn't be a competition now. It should be well and truly over. So the way we've done this doesn't give, and the lack of Mikel Arteta changing doesn't give me any way to say that he's not going to play that different next year. And then I'll bring this to my next bit. If we play the same and or similar to this season, we won't dominate next year. Maybe we will pick up a trophy. You know what? But we won't get that. Maybe we won't again. This football here has taken him 4 years to master, and we're only being given the title by Pep Guardiola. We're not, like, I know obviously we've collected the points. I'm not saying it like that. But we have not been given gift after gift after gift after gift after gift. I mean, come on, let's get it right. If this was any other Manchester City side that Pep Guardiola's managed, then Manchester City are probably points numerically winning the Premier League already. It's just as simple as that on our behalf. And it's just them little details. I'll just enjoy the win. Of course, I'm enjoying the win. I just know what we need to do. And we're saying it, you know, let's just say we get over the line, like I said, with the Premier League again. What, like you said, Gianni, what we're going to do? Like, that's that. Well, what other sport should we go and watch now? You know what I mean? Should we go watch a bit of lacrosse? You know, we've got the Premier League now. That's it. Job's done, isn't it? What other ones, isn't it? Like, no, let's do it next year. And we'll do it better.
Exactly. Yeah. But I mean, I'll throw this into the mix.
Yeah, and then we'll get this from Dash because I want to tie it in.
Let me just quickly throw this in the mix. If we only win the Premier League, I'll be absolutely over the moon. But there'll be a part of me thinking we've only won one trophy this season.
Yeah.
Yep.
We was up for a quadruple not so long ago. And if we come out of this season with only winning the Premier League, as much as that would be brilliant, because we haven't won it for 22 years and I'll be over the moon, there'd be a part of me thinking I would have at least expected a domestic cup along with that, minimum. We were in a Carabao Cup final and people have forgotten that very, very quickly. Yep. That was an absolute shit show, shambles of a cup final.
Yep.
It was a poor cup final. And you're telling me you want to give me confidence after watching that going into a Champions League final against PSG? Come on, man.
Leave it out.
Why should I be confident after being at Wembley, 6 hours round trip because the trains, watching that crap show, and you're expecting me? I can only go by what I've seen.
But he's got us playing again, though, DJB. That's it. Right? That's what they're saying. He's got.
And what I'm saying is, if we win the Premier League, I'll be over the moon. But I will still question why we've only won one trophy this season when we could have won two. And we should have won two. Best team in the world. Best team ever. If you're the best team ever, you're winning more than one trophy.
We was favourites. We was favourites for that.
Because the best team ever I've always seen is your Man City's winning trophies, 2 and 3. Alex Ferguson's Man United winning 2 and 3. Arsene Wenger's winning 2 or 3 trophies, or 2 trophies.
Yeah.
They're the best teams ever. So let's be honest.
Picking them trophies up.
Every single Liverpool fan last season was disappointed they only got the Premiership. They were over the moon and surprised and shocked, but they should have had 2 trophies. So there will be a part of me thinking, should have got 2 trophies this season.
Yeah, 100%. We've sold ourselves short again. But look, I mean, if the super unlikely likelihood of we get a double here, I mean, I'm going to be super buzzing with that. I mean, I'm not going to lie, but easier said than done, mate. We keep seeing sort of 3 games to make ourselves memorable or whatever you say.
we've
And
still
to an
got
extent,
great chance.
that's factual. That is, but
Still got
them,
great
you know,
chance.
them games, especially the final one, you know, on the 30th, you know, are very much easier said than done. We were obviously talking about as well, like players just before, about getting them knackered and running over the ground. I wanted to bring this in from Dash because it ties in with it. And you're saying as well, Zubi Rice, Saka specifically, have contracts where they must play a certain amount of games, or the club pays the player more if they don't. Do you know what? Yeah, obviously these contracts are sort of available, and they're being implemented at Arsenal. I'm almost certain of that. One thing I would sort of say though is welfare from that sort of standpoint. I mean, just pay if you are a little bit handcuffed with money. One, don't have crap negotiations. 2, which we do unfortunately, don't have it in there, or at least not to a financially crippling say degree. Or 2, if it's for the best interest of the squad to win trophies of the season, just give them an extra couple of quid then. Just rest him. Do you know what I mean? There you go, we'll pay you off. Because that's what we're sort of seeing. Now, let's just say, for argument's sake, Zubimendi, Rice and Saka do have that where they have to play 32 games or whatever. Let's just say off the top of our head. I mean, that's all well and good, but if Bukayo Saka, like we was looking at that boy, all of a sudden is getting ourselves, we're getting to a quarterfinals and semi-finals and this and all that, and resting him and paying him a couple of pence was the reason why he got a hamstring injury and missed the Champions League final. You've got to look at the greater goods, I think. 1, stop putting silly things in contracts. And 2, if it's for the greater good of the squad for latter stages of competitions, you've got to rotate them. It's just as simple as that. You've always got to go for that welfare. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they've got to be adequately protected, these players. And not even just protected, obviously, for their health, but fit enough for us. This is why, you know, you look at some of the other squads and they're firing on most cylinders. Sitting there thinking, we look like we can't even get out of bed. Right, on some games, I know we've picked it up a little bit more, and fair dues, you know, then we have picked it up a little bit, and the West Ham, not so much. But, you know, we looked like we've woke up a little bit, but it's been zombie football pretty much for the year, isn't it? You know, and for longer than that, really. And when DJ was saying about leaving them at the stadium, I'm looking at, I'm thinking 5, is that 5 maybe, in the last 2 years where I've actually gone out and gone, wow, that was good. 5, man. Been there like 30, 40 times. That's not a good return. And you know what I mean? But that's not good return at all. You're like 10, 15% of games a season I actually come out happy in. That's pants for the money. Where's the return? You know? But big up Conrad as well, my friend, man. I wanted to tie it in nicely with what we're talking as well. We've got cheeky JCG, you fucker. Big up super fan Aaron Odegaard. Yeah, he's my boy, mate. I've been sneakily trying to get Shane's Odegaard t-shirt off of him. Shane Gooner signed on it, but you know, he's not going to give it to me that easily. You know, I want it to be the middle centerpiece of Thierry Henry and Dennis Bergkamp. You know, but now big up to JCG. We got Sudes as well as jumped in, and then we will come to a close because I've just realised the time that we're running on and the time and the clock, and I'm like, oh shit, going on, yeah. So Sudes is saying DJB. Unfortunately, I'll remind you of what I said on your show. Our fan base, no one from Prime Barca, look at them players, Javi, Iniesta, Messi would get into our squad. I mean, who would you take him out for? Is what you're saying, isn't it, Suge? Like,
crazy, isn't it?
Who are you going to take him out for? I mean, you're not going to take Iniesta out for Odegaard, are you? Do you know what I mean? Or put him in. Do you know what I mean? It's Odegaard. Come on, man.
She's what I mean.
Messi. Well, we've got Martinelli. I mean, why Messi? I don't even think Messi would get on the bench, would he?
No,
yeah.
Not
over Madueke, right?
yeah.
But
Madam Messi.
Just to go back to what Dash said, right? Even if these players have it in their contracts, they have to play a certain amount of games. That's all well and fine. Just don't run them into the ground. Still take them out. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with if there's nothing wrong with a player starting 30 games or 31 games in the league, but at least adjust the minutes to where, okay, you're going to get 31 starts in the league, but be prepared to come out in anywhere between the 65th minute or the 70th minute so that you're still getting 20 minutes of rest and we're still keeping the next player involved in the game warm. Again,
Yeah.
you don't want to hinder anybody's form either. Again, we've seen super subs in the past where a super sub is normally going to be given 30 minutes, but he always does something. So that's why there's a balancing game to how you move with that, you know, and it was even harder back then. You had only 3 subs. This 5 subs is a new thing.
Yeah.
People forget that. So again, at the end of the day, there's a give and take of what you're going to do moving forward with how you're going to run the team. Nobody would be upset if Rice started 32 games. But if Rice was coming out because we're winning, the sensible signing, Norgard, should have been getting at least 20 minutes a game, because you throw him in there. Okay, he's not as good as Rice going forward, but defensively, he's going to anchor everything and shut everything down to where, okay, Norgard's in, we're going to set up shop, see out the 20 minutes and still win the game. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what we want to see, because you prolong the player's career.
Fact, like you're saying as well, to tie into what I already said as well, silly decisions. You've got Norgard sat on the bench, 3-0 up at Fulham, and he brings Ubamendi on. I mean, I know I've already said that this stream, but it's so stupid, it's worth saying twice or thrice, isn't it? You know, when you're looking at a player that you are specifically resting for that game because he's burnt out, and you bring him on at 70 minutes to burn him out even more over a player that's dying for minutes in a game you've already won. Like, it's just so difficult to look beyond that inept decision making. And when you say, "Oh, is it worrying going forward?" I think James sort of asked. When you know you've got a manager who can do these sort of things, decisions in big moments at the business end of the season, and just start going, "Right, should we put Mascara on there? Nah, fuck it. We're just going savage the whole team just to try and be smart." Like in a game which is labelled the banana skin of our trophy-winning run. Like, you're not the right moment to do that, mate. Like, that's what pre-season's for, bruv. And you were running these players into ground in pre-season, like, for the most part. Do you know what I mean?
That's what players have dealt with this. And bigger players have dealt with this. Look at Carlo Ancelotti. Ancelotti used to say with that Milan team that he managed, he would drop the likes of a Pirlo or a Seedorf, world-class players. He'd drop them for the smaller fish to focus on the big ones, because for him, as he says, recovery for the players is the most important thing after the game. You don't want to run players into the ground so that you can look at the long-term goal for the season. Again, we just said Pirlo and Seedorf. If those 2 guys are fine with coming off to give other guys minutes for the long term, there ain't nobody in our midfield that's better than them 2. So if those 2 guys are okay with doing it, our guys should be okay with doing it.
Yeah.
End of story.
Fantastic point. Yeah, that is really end of story on that. I think that's absolutely fair enough. You can get 2 of the best in the business in their position ever. Surely we can with Odegaard and our boys. Do you know what I mean? Like, 2 of the best players ever. Do you know what I mean? Hello, I mean, you don't create them like that anymore. The youth and everything like that wouldn't even know what to do to how to create a player like that. You know what I mean? You just get a robot, wouldn't you now? AI, isn't it?
Yep.
I don't know, man. It's mad.
Luis Enrique, before we finish, Luis Enrique right now is looking towards that Champions League final. He's going to probably rotate sensibly.
100%. Didn't last year before the game, didn't he replace the whole?
He's going to rotate sensibly, whereas our manager will be full on Burnley, Crystal Palace. Why? Because he hasn't done his due diligence throughout the season to have this Premier League wrapped up right now. If we'd have had this Premier League wrapped up right now, we could be resting players now going into this Champions League final.
Yep.
Simple as it.
Yeah, comments just come in as well. I'm glad I see that, so I wouldn't have just cut over it, because I was just about to end it. But big up the comrade. I don't think Arteta has the pull to attract these players without the clauses in the contract. I mean, this is an absolute valid point, my friend. And overpaying wages is something we've done for the large part of the last 2 decades, because of exactly that. We've been so poor. We've had to pay Aubameyang. Look, Arsenal's a lovely club to have come to. Do you know what I mean? But if we weren't paying him 200 grand a week, and then he's going somewhere else, you know, it's just as simple as that. And it's copy and paste for a lot of them players. You know, like the Ozils and the Sanchez's wanted to play under Wenger. that was a difference with them. Most big signings from them two were literally just because we'd fallen down so well. It's like shit. Let's just give them X, Y, Z more than they're worth. And the problem is so many of these players that we've given good money to come to this football club have underperformed, so you can't get rid of them. And it's just been copy and paste for such a long time, isn't it? You know, it's been copy and paste for such a long time. But yeah, I mean, Mikel Arteta will have some form of certain, you know, a pull if he wins the Champions League. That will put him into a different bracket of manager across sort of Europe. Then when you're lifting the European League, I'm not saying that all of a sudden turns him into a world-class manager, by the way. I'm not thick or naive. What I am saying is it does make him a bit more desirable. And hopefully someone comes in and gets him, wins the Champions League and piss off somewhere abroad. I mean, like, I think fair dues. Like, if he, you know, I've always said, and I'll stick by my principles. I think if he wins one of the big boys, I feel like he has the right to defend it. However, if he got sacked on match day 1, I'm not crying a single shred of tears. I'm somersaulting out of bed. I'm breaking my neck, and then I'm even going to be happy landing in the hospital. You know what I mean? Like a bench, because I know Mikel Arteta is not manager anymore. So, you know, that's what we do. But listen, I'm going to wrap up and I'm going to stop talking to bollocks as well. It's silly o'clock now. We're getting into 12:30. Well, it's silly o'clock for us three. Gianni must, I don't know. It's afternoonish for you, like that over there.
6:30.
6:30. Yeah, he's still got the night ahead of him, Gianni. We're all winding down. Oh, fuck! You know, I can't do another 10 minutes. Gianni's fucking ready to go to the gym, mate. Isn't he? You know what I mean?
It's a mad OG show tonight.
Yeah. But listen, man, big up to the chat as well. You know, the most important people in there, man. This is the exact only reason why all of us have got channels and kept them. Do you know what I mean? Because if we weren't talking to people like you in the chat every day, we might as well phone each other. You know what I mean? It's just as simple as that. It's just as simple as that. So, you know what I mean? We get to listen to your guys' things. You get to listen to us waffling on. Do you know what I mean? And hopefully you enjoy it. But yeah, man. What have you got coming up, D? Run around with Norms.
I've got the midweek mingle on the Wednesday. Norski may be able to join us, but he may not. So it might be a midweek mingle with myself.
A single mingle.
Single mingle. But it'll be all the usual banter and laughs and all of that. Don't worry. Friday, I might do a late night chat Thursday because I haven't got Kenny Ken. I don't think I've got Kenny Ken Thursday. I might have Kenny Ken Thursday. No, I'm busy Thursday. Sorry. So I might do a late night chat when I come from being out. And then Sunday, I've got the Sunday sit back as usual. So, yeah, big up to everyone. Absolute legends in the chat. I've really enjoyed tonight's show. Gianni, fantastic as always. Norski, my man. And yourself, Aaron. Thank you very much indeed, as always.
No, man, no. So it's always nice, these shows, man. It's always, I always describe it as my baby. Do you know what I mean? Because I always look forward to it. I look forward to loads of streams, man. But you know, this is it's a right blend for me. Do you know what I mean? The right people in the chat, the right people on the panels. Say no more, innit? Normski, what you got coming up, brother? What you got coming up, brother?
Yeah. So normally I would be doing my show on the Wednesday, but I've moved it to the Thursday, 6:30. What's going on podcast show? But I'm hoping to actually get on DJ's show later on the Wednesday. If I'm back from my function, so I might be in my tuxedos and that, you know what I mean? Like talk to DJ B on the Wednesday night, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Probably do a bit of Frank Sinatra and all of that, you know what I'm saying?
To be fair, mate, I don't know why you don't do this anyway. I think that should just be an every Wednesday thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I've just moved my show to the Thursday. And obviously the Bruised Banana will be on after that. So yeah, come and check me out on Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Hopefully we'll have a great show. And thank you to you, Aaron. Big up DJ B. Big up Gianni all the time, mate. And let's see you back streaming, bro.
Yep.
And big up to the World Class chat as well. Big up to the chat.
And G, man, it's nice. You've always made time. Do you know what I mean? Over these parts. Do you know what I'm saying? And I knew we were man down, and I thought, you know what? Hopefully G's back. So I know obviously it's a bit tricky some certain days, some certain times. And he makes it, and he doesn't ever disappoint our Gianni, man. What have you got coming up, brother? Proper Napoli.
We have an extensive Serie A show tomorrow. We will be diving into Inter winning the top 4 race and all of the scandals. We have the prostitution scandal that's going on in Serie A. We have a game fixing. We have a game fixing scandal going on in Serie A again. So we will be doing expect a possible 3+ hour stream tomorrow on the Serie A. We're covering everything, and then later we will have.
You love a scandal in that league, didn't you? Like it's scandal central, isn't it? That fucking Italian league.
Us Italians love corruption, brother. It's in the blood. It's in the blood. So we will be doing an extensive Serie A show tomorrow, and then we will be having the call-in show later sometime this week as well. But yeah, definitely back to streaming. Just needed a couple weeks off to handle some personal stuff going on, but always appreciate the invite for whatever. And always appreciate the time with Normski and DJB as well. Always love talking ball with you guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It blend was always right from the start. I was just like, oh wow, we got something pretty good here. Do you know what I mean? That's why I've kept it. It's just nice. Do you know what I mean? There's no point in breaking something that ain't fixed. Mikel Arteta. Do you know what I mean? On that note, we will leave. Innit?
Big up, everyone.
Big up wherever you're watching, whether it's good morning, good afternoon, or good night. Sound like the Truman Show then, don't I? Good morning, good evening, and good night.
Bless.